Yeah, we were actually about to put Dan on the damn podcast. Like, Dan, get in here and start talking about rates.
Why not? Maybe I'm on the podcast. I'm gonna call you back. Love you, bye.
All right, guys. So we're officially live on the podcast.
Nice.
Just quick apologies to the people that were waiting for 3 o'clock. We know we got a couple million fans out there that
I've
they
been
tuned in.
waiting, bro. They're just at their computer.
They've just been waiting, and there's an outage of internet, I guess, throughout the whole country or something. I don't know. They said China did something, so I don't know.
Don't even start that.
Watch that rumor fly like wildfire.
Yeah.
But we're actually here at Howling Rabbits, and we got a good group of individuals with us here today. Each one of these guys really doesn't need an introduction. They're well known within the industry.
Yes, sir. Big hitters.
I just want to say thank you to them for coming on the podcast.
Thank you.
For the people listening to the podcast, there's no direction for it. Obviously, we're all in the same field. Everybody here does something that has to do with real estate. These guys have been kind enough to come in here. We wanted to start a little segment. I took advantage of a lunch that we had together and to bring them together and talk about what they see in the market, what they see that's moving or not. These are the men behind the numbers that are approving people for loans. So I think it's important for them to come out and talk about what it is that they see on the daily basis, So I want to go ahead and let people start introducing themselves. As y'all know, the partner on my right is Ronnie Cavazos. He needs no introduction, and we're going to start here with Mr. Mortgage.
Hey guys, thanks for having us. My name is Sergio Melendez with Mr. Mortgage, and appreciate y'all bringing us together. I think this will be fun. Hopefully we don't start a brawl here between us.
I did bring boxing gloves so that we keep the fists.
Robert was saying he trained jiu-jitsu for about 3 years.
It was about
He was
3
training
hours.
for this.
It was about 3 hours. Yeah, guys, so I'm Robert.
They call me Robert Ninja Cordova.
Robert Cordova, Willow Bend Mortgage. First off, shout out to all the Willow Bend guys listening. Samantha Leon, one of my loan officers, wanted to give a shout out. So shout out to Samantha Leon. Yeah, I'm excited. This was the war room, right?
Yeah, it's the war room.
Yeah, the war room. So I'm excited. We're going to be talking shop. We do have some great guys here. And to my right, we've got Ashish with WallStreet Wholesale Lender.
I think he took over your job. Hello, thank you guys for
Did a pretty good job.
Coming in at 5'10", 170 pounds, 160 reach.
Known around the world.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me here. I'm here on behalf of my team at Wall Street, and thank you very much.
Emiliano Zapata with Capital Insiders. Thank you for having us here.
Awesome.
I'm Hernan Mirela with CrossCountry Mortgage.
Nice. Mr. Zapata, can you turn that over for us? There you go. Man, so when was the last week that we got together for lunch?
Yeah, Lubies.
Yeah, man.
Great place.
DPI.
We got together for lunch and we were discussing a couple of things that are, the market, right? And we were actually touching base on what these guys are seeing in the market, So, let's start off from the bottom. How did you all wake up with the market today? How did the market wake up? How's everything moving in the market today? How do you all see it?
The same. It ended pretty well. Yesterday we did all right. Last week it took a big dip.
Right.
The weekend before that, before 4th of July, took a scary dip, but then we bounced back and we're pretty good. But today I didn't really see much movement, just kind of fluctuating in the same spot. I don't know what you guys saw on your side.
Yeah, so the 10-year hit about 4.2 last week. Today was about 4.3. I mean, it was as high as 4.5 for a while, and then it came back down. Jerome Powell today he testified in the Senate, talked about possibility of the 70% possibility of the rates coming down before end of the year. At least one drop. I mean, the market's pricing it at 70% chance of two rate drops before end of the year, but he was pretty cautious. I heard him for a while, just saying, we'll still monitor month by month. First quarter inflation numbers weren't very favorable. These last couple months have been, so that's why the possibility of a rate drop has increased. And so that's what we're seeing with the market reacting.
I think it's the first time that they said that high rates for a long period of time could have an adverse effect on the economy. So hopefully that translates to lower rates. For you guys that are out there listening that don't sell mortgages, he's talking about the 10-year T-bill, right? So long-term rates follow the 10-year T-bill. He's mentioning rates of 4%. So obviously that's not the going rate out there right now. But as the 10-year T-bill goes down, your long-term interest rates go down. So just to kind of give you a little insight there.
Yeah, can you explain that a little further more for the people that don't know what that actually does to the market?
Yeah, so the 10-year T-bill is a treasury note that you can buy or institutions can buy. And as the 10-year T-bill goes up and down, the rates fluctuate with it. The 10-year T-bill right now is, I don't want to say an all-time high, but it's higher than it has been in the past. And so that's why you're seeing these higher rates. And it's all a function of trying to control inflation, right? The feds are saying once it gets to that 2% level, that's when they're going to lower rates. I think it's like 2.8 or 2.9 somewhere. So it's close. And I think, for the average consumer, the average home buyer, the guy that's out there saying, hey, I want to buy a house, but it's a little bit too expensive. I think you're going to see some real rate relief next year. Yeah. I think September or November of this year, you're going to see a drop. I think the feds are going to start to pivot on their policy. But I think by next year, you're going to see that accelerate and you're going to see some real rate relief. And for those homeowners that are out there, this is a big deal. Being stuck in the 6s and 7s, hopefully by next year we'll be gone. And hopefully we'll be talking about 4s and 5s.
Average price of the home, $300K, goes down 1%. How does that change the payment?
Yeah,
for somebody,
$150, $180
a month.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, over 30 years, it's $100,000 or whatever it is. So there's some real rate relief coming. I'm excited about next year. I love refis. I know a lot of these guys here do too. And outside of refis for you home buyers, let's get you a house.
Mm-hmm. How have you guys seen the market here in the last 6 months locally?
250
home sales.
Yes, home sales. 250 to 300 it's not getting stuck, but it's getting slower.
Yeah.
So houses that they were taking about 8 weeks to sell, 2 months, they're taking 3 to 3.5 months. Hernan described last week, it's not stuck. I mean, it's moving. It's not moving the speed that we want to, but it's moving. Now, the other thing that I wanted to ask, Robert, is if the rate drops to 1%, it's $150 and $300,000. Don't you think that is going to bring more buyers, those more homes? Prices are going to go to 300 to 310, and the payment is going to be offset anyway.
It might. I mean, look, I think that there's enough housing out there. We talked last week when we were at that meeting that there's some homes sitting.
Yes.
And so I don't know if it means that house prices are going to accelerate like what you saw during COVID when rates were 2%, 2.5%. I think that there's some inventory out there that needs to get moved, that needs to get sold. So I don't think it's going to have an effect on these house prices. Now, if rates drop 2%, a lot faster, within, let's say, a 3-month period, maybe. But I don't think the government's going to let that happen. I think it's going to be a slow downward trend. But look, I mean,
back to affordability.
Yeah,
right?
and we talk about a 1% drop. What about 1.5? What about 2? Is that at the end of next year? And if it is, it's going to be an early Christmas for a lot of us.
I saw a report this morning about the housing, but it was on the Sopare Island, and it went from 3 months inventory to 9 months inventory. So, first time ever, I read an article on Nationwide this morning that they said that we have the same inventory of houses of 2006. I don't know if that's true or not, because everything that I have heard in the last years is that we are on short of inventory because of the COVID, because of this, and that we need more housing, we need more housing, we need more housing. But yesterday, I read an article that it says that we got to the point that it's exactly the same as inventory in 2006, and everybody got scared because you know what happened.
But the valley never stopped building.
Yeah,
though.
and
We never stopped. We never got the memo. Like, hey guys, slow down.
South Padre Island, I think is very unique. I mean, it's landlocked. I mean, we saw those prices. I mean,
skyrocket.
Absolutely. And I think, I think he's right. I think that the valley's, unique. I mean, we're relatively cheap compared to other parts up north. We've got Mexico to the south. They've got a lot of issues. So you're seeing a lot of money and families from Mexico come north. And why not live in a great place like the valley, right? The cost of living is cheap. It's beautiful. The summers are awesome. We got weak winters. And so I think we're shielded, and I'm really looking forward to some great relief. I think that's when you're going to have a lot of these buyers come off the fence and really start to say, "Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to buy."
I'm with you, because if the home buyer is waiting for a 1 or 2% drop, but the house is going to go from 300 to 350, that's going to be worst. people needs to jump in right now.
The economics 101 is going to tell you, right, that when rates are up, material is going to go down. And so right now, materials down. Right now is truly the best time to buy a house because you can always refi. And I know we talk about that, and it's all in every single one of us sales pitch. But the reality is, material prices are down. Best time to buy a house when it's low.
Absolutely. And I think the realtors do a good job with their marketing. They have a, what is it? Date the rate, marry the house.
Yes.
And so
Something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I think buy a house, doesn't matter the rate. You can always refi later.
Yeah.
Another thing to consider is, and I know as builders, you don't want to hear this, but folks that have been sitting on the sideline to sell their homes because they don't want to get into another home at a 6-7% when they're currently at a 3%.
But let me
If
tell you,
rates drop, they're more likely to sell and upgrade, and so you might see more resales come in the market.
the same article said equity in the houses went up to 50%. Those guys that they said, "Oh, I have a 3%. I don't want to get a 6." Yeah, but your house was 200. Now it's 300.
Right.
Come on, you have 100,000.
And if rates come down to 4.5, they're more likely to sell their existing home, buy new ones, hopefully buy new construction. And that's how it is. But most of our closings that we've seen are new construction. I mean, that's really what's you guys probably see some construction loans.
There's so many, I mean, everybody, all of us here did so many refis, to a 2 or 3, and it'd be crazy.
Bro, I saw 1.9.
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
some
I mean,
point. It was
you're
like,
crazy.
damn.
You're just going to hold on to it. You're going to rent it. I mean,
I think we also have a lot of people coming from outside with the employment and everything.
yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Ashish deals with a lot of investors. He's got some California money coming in.
He's populating the valley with
Yes.
the California residents.
I mean, and one last thing about the Valley. I did a loan about 2 years ago for a lady. She worked at DHR where they deliver the babies. And she was telling me that they deliver 400 babies a month. And I was like, wait, 400 a month? And she's like, yeah. And that's one hospital. You still have the Whitehall, you have Rio Grande Region.
You probably have 800 now.
I believe it. Yeah, I
mean,
believe it,
all
bro.
I'm saying though is if you're doing 400 babies a month,
Yeah.
are you building
So
are you building an elementary school a month?
Bro.
So what you're saying is to
No, what I'm
stimulate
saying-
the economy, we need to start procreating.
What I'm
Is that what
saying
you're saying?
What I'm saying is all these young people
Babe,
that are
get
now
the candles going.
yeah, turn on the music, get the lights off. No, but what I'm saying is
Are we playing Frank Ocean?
all these young people are now of age and they're demanding. Watch out, guys. They're demanding high-paying jobs. They're demanding mortgage. They're demanding housing. And so I just don't think it's going to stop. I mean, I think that the Valley's booming.
Yeah.
And we're all taking advantage of it.
Look, if we'd seen a slowdown, it would have happened. I mean, I think we've passed the worst, which was late last year, early this year. Early this year we had some relief in rates, but late last year is when it really spiked, and it was scary. We didn't know what was going to happen. I think we've seen the worst.
And
Do you guys have any?
it is my understanding when you have this number like a 400 or 800, every time you have 800 kids or newborns a month, you need a school.
Yeah.
So there's no way that every 2
They're
months.
not building a
bunch of
school. No, there's no way. But I mean, you also have to understand these kids have parents and they're
Right.
21, 22, 23, firefighter, border patrol, teacher, and they all demand housing. They got to live somewhere. And so,
Yeah.
You
this
got to
is
get out of
where-
mom and dad's house, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But I think even it's getting better now because employment, went up a little bit. So I think last week, and this,
Healthy.
yeah. So rates have gone better this week.
Yeah, but people are still buying. One thing I've seen difference is non-QM products.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
do them too. Bank statement loans, DSCR. Have been
Can you explain what that is for the people that don't know
So
what it is?
non-QM are loans, just not your conventional loan, like your FHA, your conventional VA. They require a little bit more of a down payment, but it's for those that, let's just say they're a trucker and they expense all their, they already know they go to their tax preparer, Nancy,
Preach a good word, baby. Preach it.
tax and notary or whatever.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and they're like, hey, no quiero pagar nada,
Right.
So, they write off all their income. They make $150,000 a year, but on paper they make negative 2,000. So that's where we got to get a little bit creative and do non-QM loans, right? At CrossCountry, not trying to throw a plug or anything, but we do 1099.
I mean,
bank statement
hey, that's
loans.
why you're in the
Yeah,
organization, bro.
dude.
Plug
It's the
plug
war room.
away.
It's the
Plug
war
away.
room. Well, at Willow Bend
Structure, by the way.
Shots.
But we got condos at the island, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah, but it's basically if you got a down payment, you can still get a lot. Right? That's what it boils down. 20% and above. There's still many options. Yeah, I know these guys can do them too. But those non-QM products are really
they really are. They're filling the void for what the QM products and non-QM and QM products, qualified mortgage and non-qualified mortgage, those are all born out of Frank Dodd, right? The last time we had a recession when they cleaned up the whole industry. But you're starting to see these non-QM products, the bank statement products, where we take your deposits for 12 months, we average that out. That's your income. We don't need a tax return. Nice. Or a straight 1099, like Hernan was mentioning. There's an asset depletion. There's the DSCR.
The DSCR is just a rental.
Yeah. So I mean, there's some amazing products out there. At Hernan, at CrossCountry, it's 20% down. At Willow Bend Mortgage, it's 10% down. Yeah, we're gonna start this.
Ding, round one.
We're gonna start this,
ladies and gentlemen.
Round one. And guys, look, there's
Stay for the credits. We're gonna fix it out afterwards.
There's some great products out there. You guys reach out to any of us. I mean, between all of us here, you probably got over 100 years of experience. So reach out to one of us, and we can lead you in the right direction. For those of y'all that don't think you can, si se puede.
What price point right now? Do you guys keep track of like what price point is currently or wasn't as affected by the increase in rates?
Yeah, the lower prices.
So you can't find it.
And
You
speaking
can't
about
find it below 200.
Yeah, right. nothing under 200.
Doesn't exist anymore.
No.
You can't even build it.
But one thing that I have noticed, 500,000 price point has jumped up a lot. A lot of the fourplexes that are still getting by.
I have a
They're
question
still
about
moving.
I have a question
moving.
about
Our
housing below
product is still
200.
moving. It's
It's
I have a question. Housing about 200s. I saw a product in the market that I'm still just in the fence to see how it's going to perform. These builders / developers that they develop fourplexes and then they are selling by unit. So rather than sell on a 500 fourplex, they sell it for 150 per se. So you can buy unit A, B, C, and D. And when I saw it, I said, well, maybe it's a good marketing point, but I don't know if there is a loan out there for the end user.
Well, that's a
condo.
That's a condo.
Right.
So at
That's
that
a
point,
regime.
Can you do it?
I mean, you can do it, but it's a little tougher to loan on.
20% or what is
No,
it?
it's just a condo questionnaire.
But they're doing it.
They're doing it. Oh, yeah.
I mean, because it has to be filled like by
50%.
right,
You
something
have
like
to go
that,
to
yeah.
a Del Wrap and HRAP process through FHA approved. You can go onto the condo list and FHA and see which regime
Is that an easy process? If I want to
like-
buy one, let's say I'm in college.
The best way to explain it is that when you're in a condo, it's shared living. So usually you just underwrite the borrower. Now you're going to underwrite the borrower and the unit, right? But when it's a fourplex on the Fannie Mae side, it's a pretty much automatic approval because it's only 4 units. When you get to 5, 6, then it gets a little tougher. But I mean, these guys are all trying to make a buck, right? They're getting creative and people are buying them. There's nothing wrong with it, right? But it all goes back to now you have to create a condo regime. So as the developer, you got to go to the city and you got to have condo regimes. But it makes sense if you can move them, right?
And then to get financing for you, the regime itself has to keep a certain percentage of it owner occupied versus
50%.
50%. Right. So that HOA has to control that. Like you can't be, if you're going to buy these, you can't lease them out. You've got to maintain a certain level of owner occupied units.
And then they got to have the reserves.
Correct.
A whole nother game.
Oh, yeah.
So it is more strict.
So
and then the
if-
insurance.
Still more
I get-
complicated.
If I get approved and buy one, he says, "Oh, let me turn it to an Airbnb." It's not going to be possible.
No.
I think too much in every
I mean, you
category is
could,
not-
right? I'm assuming you
I mean,
can.
they can't really stop you. I mean, you can do, but I think what he's talking about, you can't have like 75% investors in a unit in a condo.
The one that's SOL is the next one buying.
Yes.
Right? So if the next one buying as a primary residence gets
You're
that
affecting
condo
those people.
questionnaire filled out and turns out that 70% of them are rentals now, then that's it.
But your market might be young professionals, right? Like
Yes.
maybe you make it a fun neighborhood. Maybe it's got a pool or a tennis court. You bring in these young teachers, that kind of thing.
And then again, on the condos also, you have to make sure as a builder, now you're going to find 4 buyers instead of having just one.
For what?
4 borrowers, like, to live in primary.
Yeah.
And sell it individually. Like you can, but then like for regular fourplex, you have one buyer, investor, you are sold.
Right. Now you got to find
Yeah.
Can you do a DSCR loan with for a condo?
if it's an investment.
No?
Yeah, it's investment.
Nice. All right.
Foreign
Only an investment
nationals?
product.
It's an investment.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to
It's
hear.
good for foreign nationals though.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of foreign nationals, so word on the street is that we should be looking at an influx of foreign nationals because of the last election in Mexico. Have you all heard the same thing, or y'all heard anything about it?
Well, we are seeing closing some Canadians, like for the reshoring,
Mm.
like China to US reshoring. So a lot of truckers are coming, they're buying houses here.
Mm.
They're
No,
Canadian.
nothing on the Mexican election.
I didn't hear anything
I
about
didn't,
that.
I didn't hear that, but we do have at Willow Bend Mortgage, we do have an amazing foreign national product. It's 30% down, very little questions asked. We've closed a handful of them. They're for the most part pretty cool, pretty easy.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
what about the rates?
to piggyback off of that, at
The
CrossCountry
rates,
Mortgage,
there we go. To interrupt, Vernon. The rate is somewhere around like 8%, 8.5%. So it's not bad. It's not bad. And when you talk about people from Mexico, I mean, they're used to a rate of 14, 15. You tell them 8.5, they're like, oh my God, I love you. You know, so
and they can still buy it down below that.
yes, right.
Yeah, right. But we can do it 20% down, just in case your buyers need it.
Hernan wanted to,
Y hablamos español.
Hernan wanted to go over discount points and why that's a good thing for borrowers.
Cállate.
Hernan,
Oh, man.
What else? What else have we seen?
Size of the houses are getting smaller and smaller.
the size of lots, size of homes.
Size of lots is getting smaller, smaller.
They seem to be getting smaller
We've
and
seen
way
a lot
more
of townhomes.
expensive.
A lot of townhomes, yes, absolutely. And my next question is, how far away are to go vertical?
I don't know. We still got
there's
plenty of land.
still a lot of land.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it'd be
but
nice.
we can
but-
live. I mean, people still wants to live in McAllen, Mission, Edinburgh,
yeah.
and we're getting limited.
Yeah.
So because I mean, where's
That's
yeah, that's fine. Donna, Mercedes, yeah,
How you? I
It-
know
it's
you
all-
have
it all
some in
depends
La
on the
Feria, right?
developers.
How's
Yeah.
La Feria moving?
yeah, I'm moving. Yeah, it's good. It's affordable. It's 170, it's 180s.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a completely different market. Yeah.
One of the things that we've seen that's cool is we've seen some of the developers start to transition away from fourplex neighborhoods and move into duplex neighborhoods
Seen that.
because of the FHA
Approvals.
Self-sufficiency.
the self-sufficiency test.
There
On a
is none, right?
On a duplex, there is none.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot of relief for these young guys. They're like, hey, I want to invest, you know, and I know there's FHA products out there.
What are people looking at on a loan for that? I know that I've seen that. So what is a typical duplex going for right now?
Around 300?
Yeah, a little shy
290,
of that. Yeah. I mean,
280s,
but
270s.
I mean, it's affordable and you're passing the self-sufficiency test.
That's been the biggest hurdle the past few years.
Yeah, the fourplex. So a self-sufficiency test says we're going to take all 4 rents, just call it 1,000 each, right? That's 4,000. We're going to take 75% of that, which is 3,000. If your payment's over 3,000, can't do it.
Right.
And your payment's always over 3,000 when you have a 6.5 rate.
Yeah.
And so how do you take a payment of 3,400 and turn it into less than 3,000? Well, you can't. And so when you jump into a duplex, there is no self-sufficiency test. So it doesn't matter anymore.
So
And
a
it-
first-time home buyer that's looking for a nice home and doesn't have to share the space with a lot of people, that's a good way to subsidize your payment.
At
Absolutely.
3.5% down on 300 is a lot.
Yeah.
These are pill to swallow versus 500,000.
Right.
And
yeah.
and it,
And then they're still getting $1,000 from the other unit
Right.
to pay towards their mortgage.
Yeah.
you know? So
Absolutely.
almost half of it is paid for. Then
Yeah.
it's good.
The
And
flexibility.
now they're investors, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They're dipping into that investor market.
They started their portfolio, which is good. It's
do you
young
guys know of
professionals.
any subdivisions that are coming up, duplex subdivisions that lots are still available?
Nash has one. I don't know the name, but I know Nash was
Nasty, call in.
Nash. We need you to call in.
Yeah, I have signs up in Westlaco off of Milano. That's done by Reina Development.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're doing that.
Nice.
So
I think there's one coming
Those
up
are all
on
duplex.
McAllen too. Duplex. Yeah, duplex.
And speaking about Mid Valley, man, Westaco is growing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how
Yeah.
much is growing out there. They got a new zip code, 78599.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. They used to be just 96, and now they got that second zip code. So
Nice.
moving on up.
well, y'all have signs there on that road also.
And,
fourplexes, no?
Milano,
Yeah.
fourplexes. Yeah.
Well, that road alone. I think
Right, there's a lot going
movement
on there.
Is that fourplex or duplex?
Fourplex.
The
Fourplex.
fourplex. Further down that way, there's
There's
duplexes.
duplexes. Right. Right.
But Westlaco's been growing a lot.
Yeah, what's going on with Westco, man? We just finished some fourplexes. It was a little slow to get them moved. We did have to lower the price point a little bit. But once we did, it sold right away. What are you guys seeing in Westlaco?
What did you lower it to?
495.
495.
Yeah.
From?
We're not gonna talk about that. It actually wasn't that bad.
And what was the information on that?
It was at 525. I know. And how much do you make on every deal? Damn, boy. No, we did. We actually priced them initially according to the market that was at the time.
Right.
We priced them at 525. Right. Where McAllen was at 550, 525, we thought would be okay. But we did lower it to 495. We made some adjustments on the product. And they're starting to sell.
And they're moving.
But I think as long as they
Who's the buyer? It's an investor or it's an end user?
Investor.
Yeah.
Investor.
And that's
Yep.
important, man, that they're moving. I mean, even if you got to take a little hit, you're still moving it.
I mean, we still got to move product. We got to keep everybody, busy, and lenders and subcontractors and everybody, including ourselves. So yeah, sometimes you got to adjust for the
What's
market.
the rule when every house is built? How many jobs does that create?
I mean, if you talk about building a house, there's 9,000 parts that go into building a house, over 1,000 personalities.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's we started this organization to plug in STBA. Our main objective, and we wanted to make clear to everybody, dude, we are the middle guy to everybody. Everybody. We keep a lot of people employed, so we wanted to elevate the industry, right? And the best way to do it, we thought, was let's bring the builders together so we can all work together and help each other out.
Yeah.
So anyway,
There hasn't been too many sales in Weslaco to help the comps.
to justify
So
that,
so we've seen appraisers having to go out to FAR to
Yeah.
get comps to make
Wow.
that.
we'll bus them wherever they need to go.
To go out to FAR to get comparables in the 500s.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are going in the high 400s, right?
Yeah.
That we've seen. The few that have gone there, I don't know if you guys have seen those comps.
But all it takes is that starting pivot point,
Right.
and after that, you just gotta
They
keep
catch you.
climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
Just keep climbing the ladder, man.
I think 495 is the right price point. Sorry to cut you off. Is the right price point for a good product in Weslaco.
And I think that's an aggressive.
Huh?
I mean, that's a good price.
Right.
Yeah.
How are the rents?
We're not going to talk about that. Power, more power to him.
How are the rents in Westlaco? Rents?
He's probably going to get mad at me. We make sure Efren doesn't listen to this podcast.
They're not.
Sorry.
They're not.
What rents in Westlaco? 1,300 or 1,250? Rents?
Low.
But here's what I will say about Weslaco that's really important. Dude, we get calls from renters all day, every day. So the rental market is there. Investors just need to catch wind that rental market is
there.
It is hot. Yeah. If I were to build 24 plexes, I would have already had them all rented.
Speaking of hot, we're outdoors currently at Howling Rabbits.
Yeah.
Shout out to Howling Rabbits. It's
For
107
real.
degrees.
Hey, but you know what?
We
Howling
need some
Rabbits
ministers.
was we called a couple. The thing is, for the people that do watch the podcast, we take the podcast to different venues. We go to different bars and we just sit down. And we have conversations like you're listening to today. And we called a couple places because, my boy over here is smoking a cigar. So we were trying to get a cigar spot. So for the people that own a cigar place that can maybe have us in there, welcome us in there. This is what we do. We sit down and we talk about what's happening in the market or where a person came from, how they started their business, etc. But thank you to Howling Rabbits for automatically saying yes. They didn't even ask. They were just like, hey, you're going to get it. We need a spot. They're like, yes, it is a little hot. Robert's over there sweating. He needs to keep working out.
Yeah.
I think we're all sweating a little bit.
For those venues out there that want 1 million viewers and want some exposure, give us a call. Yeah. Go to your spot.
So how did y'all get into the business? And I would like to know, so people can get to know you guys a little bit better. I know
we've done a podcast with Sergio.
Yeah, Sergio and Robert. Ashish hasn't been on.
We haven't done their non, right?
No, so let's start with the non. How do you get involved with the whole loan industry and getting in there? And
I did retail for many years, and then I just wanted to change, man. I always loved banking. Didn't want to work at the teller, right? But I've always loved banking, and I just didn't know how to get in there. And then one day, I just, I was like, hey, I need a change. And I called. I had done my mortgage. My first house that I bought, I did it many years ago, and I did it with Robert Science. You remember him? Yeah, well, he's still in with with Adelante. Yeah. And I called them, and I was like, hey, man, I'm trying to get into lending, but I already submitted about 4 or 5 applications, and nobody called me. He's like, oh, okay. Well, do you have a license? I was like, well, what's that? So he
Driver's
was like, he's like, what kind of license? And so I didn't know I needed a license. So he gave me the information I needed. And I got my license and I started working with him at Gold's. That was my first job. I started with Gold's and one thing led to another. And I'm here, opened up CrossCountry in 2019 and we've been here ever since.
How many years? So how many years you been at it?
I've been at it since 2016. Wow. Yeah, 2016. So
That's
these
good.
guys probably been doing it longer than that, but I've been at it since 2016 and yeah, I love it, man. It's a great industry. You meet a lot of people. It's never the same. It's an emotional roller coaster on a daily basis. You have to make sure that you can contain
Emotional is the
emotion.
right word. Fuck yeah.
You got to be a strong character.
Because you'll get a
Sure.
call, you'll get your clear to close on a tough ass file, and then you get a call from over here. Oh, this property came in under appraised by 20,000. You got another fire you got to deal with over here. But it's beautiful. It's a wonderful industry, and you know I'm very grateful that I'm able to sit with you guys here and you know and yeah.
And you've grown it to how many people you have?
We are at
Worth
about
it.
a total of about 35 right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I have 22 LOs, and the rest is the support staff and processors and all that. So
Yeah.
so nice. So we had a good operation. Our main office is in Edinburgh, and we have one in McAllen and one in West Edinburgh.
Recently, I saw a ranking online that I liked. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, so CrossCountry became the #1 retail lender in the nation.
Wow.
So which is pretty cool. Our CEO is a true badass. He looks like a UFC fighter. He's a pretty cool dude. Just one single guy, no board of directors, no nothing. I think it's pretty cool. He backs up the LO,
Yeah.
which is good. He always stays in mind of what the loan officer needs as a company. So, which is pretty cool, and that's what helps us do what we can do, you know, to keep up with these guys here across the table from me.
Is there any type of awards, or is there an organization that exists for the lending industry here locally?
Yes.
Locally,
It's that one that Johnny started. I don't even know
that's
the name.
Mortgage Bankers Association.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
I don't know how many there was.
South Texas chapter.
South Texas. Yeah.
They've
yeah.
I think
recently-
they just recently had I think in Weslaco they had
Right, we're
at
having meetings in
Arturo's
West
Bill.
Coast, Yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I saw that. We should FaceTime Johnny to give us some information on that.
So yeah, I mean, many years ago there was one, and it,
Yeah.
it fizzled out after 2008. And really, there hasn't been anything to bring lenders together. Really,
I was actually
you know.
thinking about it. It
Wow.
would be a good thing
So-
to start something like that in the
Right,
valley here.
right.
and
Well,
take
they
it
already did.
Well, they
It's-
did.
it's-
Yeah, right.
You can. I think they got a meeting coming up.
Right in July this month. They have it.
July
Sometime
something.
in-
Yeah.
I think
That
they
same
had
organization?
Yeah. South Texas.
South
Mortgage
Texas
Bankers
Mortgage.
Association
Yeah,
with
South
Johnny.
Texas.
and-
So what are they doing?
Yeah, they just hang out, drink beer.
No, they've had
talk.
It's great.
Yes.
Great organization.
Brent the Cheeseman.
they've had some of the Texas SML folks come down. The
Okay.
regulators come down.
I think Flagstone
Talk
was here
about
too.
it.
Yeah,
Black
Flagstone
Stars
was
was
there.
a big host of it. But yeah, it's something that they're trying to gain traction,
Yeah.
trying to bring in some memberships. But yeah, I see it having a future so long as there's participation.
Yeah.
So, but there's
We did
not
have
like
that-
an official mortgage organization here in the valley.
That's the only one.
That's the only one.
And they just started.
How many mortgage companies do we have? Or
Oh, there?
no, here in the valley.
It's got to be 30.
He said-
40.
That's
He
a
said-
lot.
Yeah,
That's
there's
like
30 or 40.
22 LOs. How many LOs do we have in the valley? 100?
You know what? I was gonna
100.
ask that. So back in 2016, when you got your license, was it the same as today? Like you go through, like the same. You go through like a school of champions, school, whatever, real estate. You take your exam. Was it somewhat the same,
The
or
licensing for us is a lot easier. It's only 23 hours, 20 of the federal and then 3 of the state. But that's the
Right.
easy part. Taking the exam, passing that. For realtors, I think they have like 190 hours. I don't know how many they have to do. The
no?
licensing for
you
us
know,
is super simple, but just the exam is hard.
When I went ahead and took my real estate courses and I went in and I did that or whatever, I think I did it like in 2.5 weeks. Like I went to San Antonio and I stayed out there and I was like, I'm gonna get all the classes out of the way. I'm not gonna be coming back and forth. I just stayed out there, got an Airbnb. But when I was there, I felt like I was, like how they wrangle up all the cattle and they put them through the ringer. That's how I felt, bro. Because I was like, these guys are running a business. Because I was actually having a conversation with people that were there to get their licenses, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, and then you start to see the people that are giving you the exams are giving you the answers to the exams.
Yeah.
So there's no way you can fail unless you don't show up to the
If you
course.
fail, bro. If you fail,
You'll find a way to
Yeah. But it was just insane to me because I'm like, dude, like, it's really easy. It's just really easy. And there's just I mean, for somebody that's been in the market, I don't know. I think we have like almost close to 2,000 realtors in the valley right now. I think we're like at 17 or 1,800, or what are we at? At least it's like 1,800, 1,700, 1,700 or 1,800 realtors in the valley. 1,200. We're at 1,200 realtors in the valley. Yeah.
It's now. What is in the valley? What's in the valley?
Well, GMAR. GMAR.
Just Harlingen, all Brownsville.
Yeah, they're different, right? Yeah, but that what I guess what I'm trying to get at is the test to become an MLO or the test to become a realtor. They're similar in the sense like they don't have regulations to like, hey, you know what, dude? Besides a basic background check that I had to take.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, anybody can, if you wake up tomorrow, you could be a loan officer, right?
No,
and if you wake up,
you have to pass a background check. Can't be a criminal.
yeah, that's why I'm saying besides the background check,
Right.
You can be a loan officer, you can be a realtor.
Well, I feel safe then here. At least I know that we have no criminals.
Well, I wasn't a criminal when I got my license. I'm in now. I'm like, I'm grandfather.
But I think it's one thing to get a license, but it's completely different to sustain in the business.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like I mean, I don't know how easy it is or how similar it is to being a realtor, but I know, we there's a lot of realtors that come into the business and they don't realize how much hard work it is to actually be a realtor that sells
Because
products.
like your other products, you have to be very creative. Like you said, DSCR, those are not simple.
No.
Like the bank statement program, you can say that, oh, we have this one, but to actually do those loans, you
Right.
have to really know what kind
Yeah,
of,
you have to analyze the file that you have in front of you, and you have to know, okay, well, it's not going to work for this product, but it'll work for this. And you find a way, to find a solution for their problem. Basically, what it boils down to.
And you
That's wild.
gotta study each one of these products, right? Every time a new
Well, you're
product comes
studying-
out, how do you find out?
You have to learn how to manipulate it,
like,
right? You're
I would-
manipulating the terms of the product in order to make them fit to the clients.
We try not to use the word manipulate.
By manipulate, we mean help.
We structure the loan in a way where it fits in the box.
Right.
And I mean, look, all these guys here do an amazing job. There's a lot of realtors, there's a lot of lenders. Going back to 2016, I mean, there was only maybe 4 big banks back then. I mean, big mortgage companies.
Yeah.
You had Gold Financial, you had Cornerstone, Willow Bend, and
Academy?
Academy. Yeah, those are the 4 players.
Okay.
And so Cornerstone is no longer. Academy is now USA Mortgage.
Okay.
And but I mean, it seems like every month there's a new lender, and it's just crazy. But good for them. I mean, I think the secret's out, right? The Valley was, kind of the
Underserved.
yeah, with
hidden
a
gem.
diamond in the rough, and the secret's out, and everybody wants to be here. I mean, you got Guaranteed Rate, you've got Pacific Northwest. I mean, there's some of them I haven't even heard of. I'm like, wait, where? And so, I mean, but they're all trying
Pacific Northwest.
isn't that
Logistically speaking, you might be in the wrong
there's
place.
Southwest funding, but there's a Pacific
Pacific Northwest of what?
I think it's
Of Oklahoma.
yeah, of Oklahoma. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, but look, it's just a testament to how strong this market is. I mean, these guys do their homework. The guaranteed rates, the cross countries, the UWMs, and they're not going to want to be here if
Right.
unless there's a lot of business.
There's business.
Yeah.
Right.
So hats off to all those builders. Keep building.
We're trying, man. Any new industry or anything coming into the area that you guys have heard of?
SpaceX,
Yeah,
rocket scientists.
that's big.
I did a loan for a rocket scientist. Literally, I'm like, wait, did you say rocket scientist?
Really?
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, wow, rocket scientist.
Badass.
well, there are 2 LNG projects, 2 of them. Glenfarne.
2 of them.
Yeah.
Are they both in Brownsville or where are they at?
Both are in Brownsville, but one is the Glenfarne and Next Decade, which is the bigger one. The next one is Glenfarne. Right now they have Next Decade and the bigger one, which is like 18 billion.
Mhm.
There's another
Wow.
$3-4 billion project, which is Glenfarne Energy.
You said 18 billion?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. The 2 projects for LNG.
That's huge.
That's gonna have.
That's Cameron.
You need a lot of welders. That's for sure.
Speaking of Cameron,
Ronnie, even they're starting an A&M there for training the SpaceX engineers and maritime.
And this is where
awesome.
Hey,
This is
Rio Grande
where now?
City has been
Brownsville.
growing.
Where?
También.
Brownsville.
moving
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's moving.
What's going on with Rio Grande City? What's driving that growth?
I'm seeing
Anybody
a lot of, well, there's a new threeplex.
Starbucks. They have a Starbucks.
Chili.
Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
Chili's.
They made
They have a huge stripes. It's the biggest stripes I've ever seen.
pumpkin spice latte
There you go.
Well,
coming up.
Hey, but you got DHR moving that way too.
DHR
Yeah.
is opening up over there.
Yeah,
so.
they're gonna build one over there, right?
Yeah.
driving distance between Roma and the Monterrey airport is 45 minutes.
Yep.
So I believe there is a big warehouse complex to be built in the US side because of the Kia factory and some other auto industry. They are 40 minutes away from Roma.
So Roma is gonna grow.
So yeah,
That's across from Roma. Is it Camargo?
Miguel Alemán.
Miguel
Miguel
Alemán.
Alemán. And then Mier,
Yeah. Whoa.
my hometown, baby.
All right.
God's country.
Shout out to everybody in Mier. There's nobody there anymore.
Yeah,
It's a
so
ghost town.
Brought all four of them with you.
See, they're all here, bro. They're all family.
you and Servi. Only you and Servi.
East Serby. That's it.
Yeah, and that's what I heard. Big warehouse complex is coming to that part of the town, and that is driving a lot of movement.
In Roma.
So yesterday or the day before yesterday, we were talking to a builder, and he was asking for some loans to build some houses there. And I told him what is there, and they said the same developer who built the Ross Chick-fil-A complex in Donna is doing exactly the same in Rio Grande City.
In Rio or in Roma?
Rio. Yeah, so they are
I thought
almost.
there was already a Chick-fil-A, no?
No.
I don't know.
The
I don't
same
think so.
developer who did in Donna.
Oh,
The
I don't know
Rose and Burlington.
I got family that lives there, but
I don't go to West Texas.
So the same developer who built that complex is duplicating the complex there with Ross, Burlington, and all those big
okay,
stores.
I believe
You
it.
got the highway too that is
Yeah.
now
Yep. Yep.
goes around La Jolla.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So you want to get to Rio Grande City, it's a lot quicker
Yeah.
than it used to be.
Any news on on Highway 83? When are they going to finish that thing?
You're asking the wrong guy,
Yeah,
man. I don't,
5 more years?
man, I don't know, but they need to hurry. Because seriously, like if I want to get to Weslaco and go check on a job, it's gonna take me half a day
And
To go and come
you're gonna get a rock chip in your windshield.
for sure.
It's horrible.
For sure.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. Anybody know the prediction on, or not the prediction, but the when that's supposed
Estimated.
to estimated?
Date of
It
completion.
was this last May, but they blew past that.
Yeah. Liars.
Yeah, it's not coming through. Mr. Zapata, quick question. We recently had a builder ask on the chat if anybody knew how your loan programs work. Could you kind of elaborate to the people how your system works, how it is that you because you're a little are you a little different from the cross country and the Willow Bend? How is it that you do your loan process?
To the builders. What they do the loans to the home buyers.
Okay.
So we are kind of because if they close loans, the builders are going to build more houses, and we can do the loan for the builders. Everything has a market, right? So we focus on the market. People or the builders selling houses between 250 and 350. That's our market. We don't lend to the builders that they are in the 500, 700s and up. And that market has been very, steady, if you want to call them that way. And our long term is like a 9-month term because we believe those houses can be built between 4, 5, 6 months, and they have 3 months to sell it. If they need an extension, we do an extension. We don't see those houses to be on the market for over a year. We see the houses right now between 9 and 11 months, but that's very typical. And we do the loans for the builders.
So, Mr. Zapata, for a builder that's looking to get a loan, what does the builder have to bring to the table? He was asking me questions. I was like, you need to just call him, But so
What do you look at?
what do you look for in a builder in order for him to qualify for a loan coming from Capital
Yeah.
Insiders?
We have a very straightforward process. So we basically lend them 100% of the construction. We want to work with, I don't want to say professional builders because there's a lot of builders, they can be in 1 or 2 houses and we take them. We give them a chance and we see how they grow. So experience is not that important. We only request them to pay for the lot. If they pay for the lot, we give them 100% of the construction. That's it.
Is that all builders or just a new build?
No, all builders.
And is it a
We can go up to 70% of the appraised value.
Okay.
So if the lot is
Yeah.
50,000 and we can cover 10 or $15,000 out of the lot, we do it.
And that's not bad. Many banks are at 80% right now. They've cut back. Some are doing 85% of the value. So yeah, at 70% of the value,
And the reason why is we don't go by credit.
Right.
So
Right.
and
Or income or
we don't go by income. We don't go by tax returns. We don't have any limits.
Yeah.
So everybody knows that we have builders here with 20, 30 houses. No bank is going to give you 30 spec houses. No, period.
And
That's it.
your approval process or for the builder to have the money in their bank, it's what, a week, 2 weeks? How long do you take?
From closing,
Yeah.
first time ever 2 weeks. After that, 1 week.
That's a huge difference. Yeah, that's a big.
Well, especially if you're going to build a house in 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
If you're going to wait for the bank 30 to 45 days, I mean, you do your math.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Good. Wow, that's good.
Are you ordering the appraisal or?
We order the appraisal. We usually get it in 3 or 4 days, no more than 4 days ever.
You also use the loan to cost or just the loan to value?
Loan to value.
So based on the appraisal,
That's in the appraisal, 70%
title, you require title policy.
title. We work with land title Texas.
Any closing fees that the builders got to pay?
Yes, they have to pay origination fee 3.5%, and all customary with the title company appraisal service they go to them. But our fees is only 3.5%, and that's it.
Okay.
Does that include title or is that just?
No, that's origination.
Capital
That's
inside.
origination.
Capital inside. Origination.
What are the interest rates looking like?
The rates?
Yeah.
Right now, 14%.
Okay.
Which
No, just kidding. Just kidding. No, it's a
this is
slow-
very
it's a
interesting.
slow-
No, this is very interesting because
No, just kidding.
this is the first question. I'm glad you asked
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's the first question every single
Right.
builder asks.
Right.
So we have a model.
And should ask. And
Yes.
should ask.
And we have a model. So our average loan, it's $175,000. That's our average loan. So if you go to the bank, and you have a great relationship, you may get 8.5, 9% for a construction loan.
9.5.
Okay, well let's call it 9.
Yeah.
Because our model goes by 9. If you go by 9 versus 14, you close the door and they say, "Don't call me ever."
Right.
So we have the underwriting process and say, "Wait a minute, the difference is 1,780. That's the difference. 1,700.
In
Why?
interest.
Because it goes by draws.
Right.
It's completely different if I give you 100%, $100,000 today at 14 versus $100,000 today at 9. That's a huge difference.
Right.
But since we go by draws, the difference is $1,780 for a $175,000 loan, which is our average loan.
And the idea is get it sold and get it unloaded. So it's not a long-term loan.
90% of our customers are repeat customers.
Yeah.
So we have over 70 builders in our portfolio. So that will tell me if they're making business about it. And they come back because, once you are approved, we give you another one and another one. So there is no other approval process. Once you get approved, you get approved. That's it.
And banks tighten up with new construction spec homes. And so you guys get busier. With
Well,
banks.
and not only that, we help a lot of banks. A lot of banks call us and say, "Can you help me, customer?" Because we are not banks. We can take any checking account. We don't open credit cards. So if he's a banker, says, "Hey, Emiliano, can you help my customer just for 3 or 4 months because he's fixing something and then come back?" Happy to do so. So we have great relationship with local banks and we help each other. So absolutely.
Good.
Are you doing business or helping any of the lenders? Because I know some of the lenders, like they'll facilitate the construction loan. Do you have a product like that for lenders?
For lenders?
You know, like let's
Like
say
a broker. Like
Yeah,
if I said, look, Emiliano, I've got a client.
Absolutely.
a broker.
Absolutely. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I understand. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so we don't have any problem by working with you guys with the realtors because we do commercial loans. We don't do consumer loans. Once we do consumer loans, we need licenses and
Sure.
all that.
So
So-
for us that are looking to facilitate the interim, it's purely for the builders,
Gotcha.
not for a client that
Correct.
we've approved.
the
Correct.
client
And it can't be a
initiate
consumer
the
loan.
loan.
It's got to be a
That makes
commercial.
sense.
And this is very typical scenario. Let's say that you have a doctor coming in and says, "I want a house, but I don't have time to go to the bank." And then you say, "Emiliano, give me the quote. How much is going to be the interest? How much is going to be the closing?" And then you tell your customer, says, "Hey, my house is going to be another $10,000, $15,000 more. I'm going to take the loan.
Mhm.
I'm going to close in 7 days and I can start your house."
Right.
Some people, a lot of builders, they are doing this today. A lot of builders are coming to us.
With ice.
Take one of those to smell this. Yeah.
Say hi to the camera. Say hi to the camera.
You just had 3 million people see your back.
Easy.
Get a glass of ice.
Water, this one. So we have a lot of builders right now. This is a very common question from the builders. "Hey, I have a customer who already owned the lot. Can you do this?" Unfortunately, we can't. because title chain is gonna say, wait a minute, it was your lot, and then you give it to him. Something is fishy. We don't want to do it. But if the builder is looking for a lot for the borrower, the best choice is to take it to the bank, so they don't take the loan, right? So you take it to your customers. But if the bank is going to take longer, and you see that your customer is going to be like, and then you say, you know what, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I can start next week. I get the loan for you. So you come to us before you come to us, Emiliano, give me a quote. How much is going to be this loan? How much is going to cost me this loan? Okay, it's going to cost you X, Y, Z. And then you put it in your in your cost. It's to say, you can go to the bank, take 45 days. You can go with me, $10,000 difference. I can start Monday morning. And that makes a lot of difference because some people, they just need to move as quick as possible because they don't want to pay another year of rent because the lease term is 12 a year. And they say, you know what? I need to move out in the next 6 months. Can you finish the house? Yeah, of course I can finish the house. And that's where they come to us.
And for the client,
So the builder doesn't get hit with our cost. It's going to be paid by the customer.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's definitely room for that product, man.
Are you
Yeah.
doing loans on primary residence or just?
No, we don't do any primary residence. No, we don't do any consumer loans. Right. Zero.
Have y'all gone into Brownsville?
We do. We do have projects in Brownsville. Land, it's super expensive. It's getting expensive than McAllen. Uh, the other flip is rents are way better than McAllen as well. So if you build your fourplex, it's gonna cost you more. I don't know. Maybe because of the land, because your sub is gonna be your subs, but you're gonna get 15, 20, 25% more on rents. So there is opportunity for those investors looking for cap rates and all kind of stuff. Because if you build there, the price difference between construction is not going to be that much. Might be 5, 10%, but the rents are 20, 25%.
I'm willing to bet just because they don't have as much housing. So it's supply and demand. They need housing, so they're willing to pay more.
Yeah, absolutely, because there is no housing. Yeah, there is no house.
What are you seeing right?
Go ahead. No.
What are you seeing right now that's moving on the builders that you're getting, Mr. Emiliano?
Houses on the up to 260s. That's where they move them, up to 260s.
And that's about right. That's your typical teacher couple
Yeah.
price range.
Starter home.
Starter home. That's about right.
Actually, that people is looking for location rather than a house.
Mhm.
They are not looking for, okay, what is going to be the master? What's going to be the laundry room? So when you go to the 300s and 350s, that's where people start asking, okay, I need a 4-bedroom, I need an office, but I need a laundry to be in this side of the house because my kids, because of my this, or I have my in-laws. That's where the things get complicated when you go to the 300s and up. I mean, for those custom builders, you design from scratch and you do it. That's not a problem. But when you have a house on the market for 400,000, I mean, you have to understand that the house is going to be there 3-4 months more than anybody else. I mean,
Yeah.
and we account for that. When we do the underwriting, we tell the builder, okay, don't you think you're going to get 50? You're going to get 40 because of this and this and this and this.
Right.
I think more of those builders, we are seeing a lot of builders coming for the one-time close. That's another good product which is moving about like 300, 400,000 dollars. It's a consumer loan. So the builder is basically the general contractor. You get your job, it's a one-time close. It's good for the consumer because it comes with a float down. You can float down the rate whenever it drops.
Yeah.
Time of
That one-time clause has been picking up a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's
You
doing
guys
pretty
have that product? Who here has got the one-time close?
Yeah, I think
Everybody's
we
got it?
all got it.
Yeah.
I would say if rates are coming down, that may not be your best.
Yeah.
product.
Yeah, because people is going to start moving
Well,
around.
it comes with a float down, but you're never going to get the lowest rate on a one-time close. And so I think just like any loan, man, the devil's in the details. There's no such thing as a bad loan. It's just, is this for you? Is
Correct.
this
Yeah.
what fits you?
You got to find
Uh,
everybody has different.
Yeah, I
issue,
mean,
you know what I mean?
back in 21, when rates were starting to move in the upwards, maybe a one-time close wasn't a bad deal because it comes with a cap. But now where rates are, projected to drop and hopefully by quite a bit, you might lose out on a one-time close. But look, I mean, there's so many different ways to do this, and the one-time close is one way.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing about one-time close is also it's on the fourplex. You can pretty much buy a conventional 5% down with a one-time close. And for the investors.
So it's a good product also allow for those, the oil workers,
Industry.
Yeah.
refinery.
Yes.
They happen to switch a lot.
Yep.
You know, so you just close once, that's it, and they go in through their turn downs, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? Because you already closed, and that's it. You don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
It has some convenience factor
Yeah.
for sure. You know, you don't have to requalify. It's already done.
Mhm.
You lose your job tomorrow, oh well. You know.
Right.
So
Very similar to our industry. I mean, you guys are kind of custom too, right? Like you got to customize the loan to depending on the buyer and what their needs are.
How about knowing your product.
Yeah.
What's
Your
your
client.
product and what's best fit for this client.
Yeah. Getting back to Cameron, because I think Cameron is going to be
The next thing.
the next thing. Who
Except
here
for,
is
except for Harlingen. I don't think they're going to move.
Harlingen? Really?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen anybody go in
It's a
there.
sleepy town.
That's a very tough town to get into.
Yeah.
But
Let me tell
They
you
got a
that-
new mayor, right?
They got a
Oh
new mayor.
yeah.
There is an old McAllen developer that is about to announce that I'm not gonna say here, but it's about to announce 180 lot subdivision in Harlingen. Wow.
Go ahead. Who is it?
It's in Cameron County.
Yeah.
It's in Harlingen, and it's gonna be just about to hit the news. It's a big. I mean, people from McAllen, developers from McAllen, are moving to Harlingen because Brooklyn is too expensive, and it's not that far away from from the SpaceX or whatever engineers are working there. So I believe West Laco. I mean, we know West Laco is the middle point, so it's close to McAllen, it's close to Harlingen. But I think because of the new mayor, because the new political system that they have, they are allowing to more and more subdivisions. There is a residential coming up to Harlingen. We have seen it. So there is a duplex subdivision coming up in the off of the expressway.
We're there.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a duplex subdivision. It's gonna be only probably 60 lots.
Mhm.
It's gonna be small, but those are gonna fly out of the show because I mean, like you guys said, the buyers for those duplexes, they have less restriction than the fourplex, and that's where the developer says, well, you know what? I put 2 water meters and I have a duplex now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's
Yeah,
called Cary Estates. Structures really there, by the way. Just a quick plug. Duplexes right there off of Ed Cary, just south of the highway.
I've always
We designed the entire community,
On
so they'll all be
duplex-
very similar.
on duplex,
Duplexes.
which
yeah.
is another one on a Stewart Road.
Stewart. Oh, okay, yeah.
Mission.
No. Stewart
Thank
Road
you.
is where the Texas Regional Bank is located in Harlingen,
Oh, okay.
which is
Right off the
it's
expressway.
right off the
Yeah.
expressway. Yeah,
I've always thought
That one's
Brownsville-
okay.
I've always thought Brownsville was a sleeping giant. I've also
Thank you.
they're always 10, 15 years behind Hidalgo County. But I think with some of this SpaceX, you might be merging the gap a little quicker.
yeah.
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
surprised to hear that rents are so high.
yes,
And it probably means that there's a lack of housing. And
absolutely.
so, I mean, if they can ever catch up with development, that's a pretty big deal.
Actually, let me tell you something. The builders
Thank
that
you,
we
ma'am.
the builders that we have the builders that we have in Brownsville, they are from Brownsville. They are building all the way from Olmito to West Laco because they have 0 lots available in Brownsville. So in order for them to continue be as a builder, they have to move out of the hometown.
Right? Yeah, they need somewhere to build.
They
Yeah,
need to
makes
build.
sense.
And every day, as you say, do you have something? You have something? No, we don't have anything.
Who here's got offices in Cameron?
Yeah, we do. Brownsville.
I'm working on it.
Working on it?
I don't have one yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, it's a slower feel. It's
It's
not
a
like
different town.
yeah, it's not like Hidalgo County, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
It's getting there. They're
It's
doing something.
progressively getting there, right?
And quicker than you'd think. I mean, and they just got so much going on over there with the port and
I mean,
everything else.
18,
Well,
$18 billion
Carnival-
is no joke.
Carnival
right?
Cruise is gonna start having ships come out of Brownsville.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah.
And
I
are
just
they
went on a cruise
And
and
what,
they
they're
announced
gonna,
it.
They're going to stop at South Padre or what?
No, I don't
The
know.
ship channel, right?
I don't know.
Assuming.
It's gonna go to Fort Mansfield and come back.
Port Mansfield and back. There's some redfish.
I was like, damn, how are they gonna do that? That's
Well,
great.
no, they're gonna
Well, you were, and let's get a sheesh in here a little bit. Can you introduce yourself and like how did you get involved in the whole lending aspect? Before that, you were traveling. Yeah, like you were traveling the world, taking over China and stuff. How do you get here?
Oh, because you were in shipping.
I'm an engineer actually by profession. Okay, but I studied in UK, in London, and Manchester. My wife, she wanted to be. I was just telling Mr. Emiliano, we came to US by chance. Like we were living in UK, and my wife, she wanted to do an MBA, and she was in healthcare, and so we moved to Jacksonville, Florida, and from there on, like she got a job here in Brownsville. So I lived in Brownsville for a couple of years.
Wow.
And then we moved up here to McAllen, like Edinburgh.
What was your rent in Brownsville?
We barely rented. I mean, we just bought our first starter home and took it from there, here. But we didn't like Brownsville back then because we came from a completely different environment. We were living in
UK to Brownsville?
right. We came to Jacksonville, Austin to Brownsville. That's how we came, and
It's a big
we came-
difference.
yeah, it's a big difference.
Next one is going to be Reynosa.
Well, then I met Pina in 17 because I was trying to transition into something else. There was nothing in shipping here back then. Now A&M is doing for like 30, 40 million maritime training facility there. But back then you had to go to A&M and I think they're close to Houston. A&M
What kind of shipping were you involved in with?
LNGs.
Okay.
LNG.
Get a little closer to the mic. I just want to make sure that people can hear you.
Yeah. Well, it was more of the LNG and deep sea drilling. So I
Okay.
used to work for major oil companies like BP and Shell, Chevron. So we used to drill in Brazil, in UK, China. We were in Australia. So I used to travel a lot. And then I didn't want to travel, so I just wanted to settle down and I moved into lending.
Wow.
And I liked it. It was
Right.
completely different.
Slightly different. Slightly different.
And I enjoy lending. I mean, I've started with retail for like, there used to be a lender called Hometown Lenders back then. So I saw the whole wholesale model and then I moved transition from retail to wholesale like in 4 months. And then we started Wall Street and now we are in Edinburgh, McAllen. We are opening one in Mission. We have something in Harlingen and we have Round Rock and we have Dallas.
Wow, love it. Statewide.
Well, we are kind of like a franchisee more than now. Then like each one is independently owned.
Oh, that's awesome.
I like it. I mean, lending now is fabulous.
And so the guys mentioned that you do more like the investor side of lending. Is that like what you focus on, or do you guys do lending like for everyday people that want to purchase homes and stuff?
Well, me
Just-
as a LO, like they mentioned Brownsville, I think you all also met. There was one gentleman who came from North Carolina. He came to know, and he met you as well. So he came to know about McAllen Edinburgh from Brownsville because they were one of the initial investors in SpaceX. So
Okay.
a corporation invested in SpaceX, and that's how they found out about McAllen.
Yes.
And this transition to investors for me as a loan officer now, it just was natural kind of. I started doing more of these fourplexes and people from all over the country knowing about the valley. And I still do like primary homes myself, but we have all our LOs who do like first time home buyers and all those programs. Now.
What's your percentage of loans that you do for people outside of the valley?
More than 50%.
Wow.
Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, but now they are moving down here.
Wow.
Because some must have heard like a lot of there are bills getting passed in Congress where they're trying to stop corporations from buying single family homes.
Okay, yeah, I've heard about that. Can you explain that a little bit to the people? What was happening with there?
Well, there are some like for example, Pretium Partners, some companies they are alternative investments. It's basically something outside the traditional stock market. So they are trying to go into housing, like you mentioned, and they are real estate assets. They can be diversified for like your rental income is much higher. So
Yes.
instead of getting your return on a stock market, you're better off buying single family homes.
Yeah.
And that's how those people are now tapping the valley. They're buying subdivisions and fourplexes, and many of them don't even live here.
A lot
Sight
of
unseen.
for those first time home buyers, a lot of down payment assistance. I've seen a
Oh yeah, that's a
big increase this year on that. A lot of people don't have
Yeah.
the funds to put a down payment, but they want to get a house, they want to get going. They just don't have the funds. So down payment assistance has grown a lot.
Here in the valley.
Here in the valley, yeah.
Yeah.
which
Is
is
that
good.
is
It's a good
that
product.
is that depend on the investor or the product that y'all have, or is that a local thing for y'all?
Yeah, it's an FHA.
Yeah.
Oh, FHA
Income,
thing.
Nationwide.
income, where we see that a lot at Willowbins and Brown.
There are
Most
both.
realtors know, and they push that. And I mean, if you're not offering it, they won't. I mean, but
Thanks,
it comes
bye.
with it comes with a higher rate, right?
Yeah,
There's no
yes.
such thing as a free lunch. And so, and it has a prepaid penalty, so you can't refi it for a few years. But I mean, for those that's the only way to get in, do it. I mean, heck yeah.
It's always better to own a home. Man.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's TDHCA, there's T-Shack. Conventional even has 100% now. It's a kind of a weird product, but they've got something that they're pushing on. So
Yep.
there's some opportunities for homeowners. Reach out.
But they have income limits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't be making $250,000
Right,
a year and then
right.
asking for
And
a
it's
down payment.
and it's
of
a
7.
family income. So like
Mhm.
if your wife, when a teacher makes 55, but your husband's a surgeon making $2 million a year, you're not gonna get it. So
I got a question for y'all as lenders. Like, y'all's products are constantly changing, right? Like it's constantly adjusting. How do you
Keep up.
how do you keep up with that? How do you keep track of
You
it?
have to continue to just to learn.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Podcast.
I TikTok.
Yeah,
Podcast.
the new thing with FHA.
Oh,
The good thing with FHA is that they no longer require on a gift, which is big in FHA, right? Hey, my dad's gonna give me the down payment. It's just a canceled check. Where before it was, hey, I need the donor statement. And you get dad, he's like, I'm not gonna give you the statement. What the hell do they want that for?
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
when they send it to you and everything's crossed out, all the numbers,
Right,
the info, and I'm
yeah.
like, I can't use that.
All I read is hub. What is this?
Keep it PG.
Yeah.
Well, actually, on the wholesale end, there's a down payment assistance program. You don't need to pay back. It's a free money. You don't need to repay it back. You can have a $2 million income on that.
Which one? I'm sorry.
Down payment assistance.
Which one?
Free money. It's a grant program. It's a wholesale program. Wholesale.
Are we doing plugs? So I can plug one in.
That sounds like a flood.
Love you.
I want to put it back and you open the floodgates.
Just to clarify,
Plug.
I never came on this podcast. I was a guest of my
Excuse me?
wife. I was a guest of my wife.
That's true.
Who was nervous, and so this is my first time on. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of
But
course,
you're-
bro.
no,
We will
but-
have you by yourself,
Yes,
and then you can come on the program.
Plug yourself in and let people know who you are. Also, please let us know how you got involved in the lending. I think I went to the office the other day. I saw that you went to North Texas,
That's
right?
yeah, the fighting mean green.
Yeah. So,
What years were you there? Just curious.
Oh shoot, we're doing this.
We got recruited there.
Let's see, it was
did you play football?
2000 through 2004,
Okay, yeah, all right.
and my buddy's girlfriend at the time was working for a company called Centex Home Equity,
Okay.
and their parent company was Centex Homes, and they built not this Dallas Cowboy Stadium, the one before. So that was their big claim to fame. And at their heyday, they were the largest home builder in the United States. So this was their mortgage division, and we were doing the subprime, which there was a thing back then, subprime, and we were doing refis all over the United States. And I was their Spanish-speaking loan officer.
Superstar.
Yes, sí se puede.
Otherwise known as.
Mark on the diversity.
So I was there for about a year, man. But it was
You speak Spanish? Oh, you're hired.
yeah, you speak Spanish. But man, it was awesome. I mean, they wouldn't even let you hit the floor. The first month it was all training. I still use those those skills today, those
Yeah.
tricks that they taught us. And I was there for about 8-9 months, and then I went into the broker world actually with a company called Nova Star. You used to be able to buy their stock, no longer. I don't know, you remember Nova Star? Anybody heard of
don't.
Nova Star? No, it's a long time ago.
Sounds like a satellite company.
We were just selling dreams, baby, just dreams. And but anyway, so then I ended up meeting a guy named Paul Parkinson, and he flew down to McAllen, and he said, "Yeah, I know where McAllen. I'm there tomorrow." And he's like, "What do you want?" And I told him. He's like, "All right, you're hired." And the rest is history, man. So we've been down in the valley 15 years now. We started just myself and another loan officer named Lily. At one time, we were like 45 loan officers. I think we're down to about 20 right now. Loan officers, we still have support staff. So the dream is real. The
You
dream
and
is
Lily
real.
started here together?
That's right.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Wow.
Lily Carrillo. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's the branch manager in the
Listen,
mission.
Shout out Lily Carrillo.
Yeah.
Shout out Lily.
So Lily
Great
Carrillo.
person.
And by the
Sweetheart
way,
of a
we
person.
do have literally millions of watchers right now. I'm getting texts from
Oh,
everybody.
It's actually in the G's. It's the
Oh,
gazillions.
gazillion. We have a gazillion.
Don't ever offend us like that.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Shout out to
And
Valentina.
maybe that's why you haven't been on.
Yeah, it's gazillion, man. Shout out to Valentina. Thanks for watching. It is hot out here.
Yeah.
That's the glimmer.
Yeah. It is hot out here.
A slight glimmer.
Sergio,
Where's-
we've had you on the
Hair and
podcast.
makeup, please. Hair and makeup.
Sergio, we've had you on the podcast, but for the people that don't know who you are, how'd you get involved in this? I know you worked in the banks. You've done it. So, what is it exactly that you do? You're Mr. Mortgage, right? give us an insight of how you came to be Mr. Mortgage.
Yeah. Back in 2004, I was a broker, and moved down from Austin. Saw the valley growing. I'm from the valley, right? But I studied up in Austin. After I got done with school, I wanted to be a stockbroker actually, and at that time there was this big scandal with Merrill Lynch, and I got my first job there, and then I got laid off because of the scandal, and they just laid a bunch of people off. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Anyway,
I interviewed with Bernie Madoff.
yeah, but that wasn't wasn't part of that.
That was good, man. You're not
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. So it moved down to the valley, tried to figure out what I was going to do, and then got into mortgages and took my test, got my brokerage license back then, and opened up a little broker shop. I remember doing resales, handling the resales for Oberhomes, and a little $40,000-$50,000 home loans. That's how we got started. Crazy. And gained a little traction. Then 2008 came, wiped us all out. All the brokers at that time wiped out.
the house was 40 or 50,000.
Yeah.
And that was with the lot. but just understand this,
Hey, QB?
that same house is probably 190,000 today.
Oh, man.
I mean, I don't know what.
Wait, Tibble.
Who's the math guy here? Let's figure out
Right.
what the growth
Oh,
rate
for
is.
sure.
I wasn't sure.
100%.
I wasn't sure if that's what I heard. I was like,
400.
I was like, wait, the lot? What are we doing here?
$60,000. If they were two-story, I remember there was 70,000. Wow, that's expensive.
They're like, no,
Wait,
mija,
what?
Yeah.
Oye, financian.
Owner finance, ¿verdad, mija?
Well, back then, man.
But that
Yes,
was like
sir.
what,
This-
2000?
This was 2004 through 2008, 2009. I stuck around. We survived till about 2009, 2010, and that's when I got approached. At that time, we became we had a line of credit through one of the banks, and that bank CEO, bank's no longer around, by the way. Approached me, said, "Come on board." I said, "Yes, I'll go that way." And that's how I got started in my banking career, running the lending departments for the different banks. So
You show me a check for $60,000.
yeah, I had to work off my line of credit man with the bank, basically. And so, that started my banking career. And I was at the bank for about 12, 13 years before I said, it's going on 3 years ago. I said, you know what, let me get back out there and started back up and,
Which one?
opened up the company. So it was First National Bank was the first one. Then that didn't work out because obviously the bank didn't stick around. Then International Bank, then Lone Star, and then my last stop was at Freedom Bank. And then after that, I said, okay.
So you were National Bank with Carlos and Robbie?
No, this was after Carlos had already stepped out, and the new CEO came in.
Yeah.
Right.
Sam.
Right. Sam.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and so that banking background gave me a lot of insight of how the inner workings, the operational side of lending and commercial lending. And so, I felt ready to get back out there. And so about 3 years ago, started up the company. It was just by myself. And then I got a couple support staff. And right now we're about 23, 24 MLOs, and about 6 processors. So it's about 30 of us so far.
Oh, all of you guys got some big teams. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are running.
You need it, right? I mean, you gotta support the.
Yeah.
It's the
Support the loan.
80-20 rule. Y'all know that rule, right?
Right.
Well, it serves for a lot of things, but go ahead in the mortgage industry. How does that work?
80-20 was actually the loans we used to push back in the day. So it was 100% financing, 80% on the first, 20% on the second. But don't worry, this is going to help bring up your credit and we'll refi you into a conventional loan later. That was the sell back then. But the 80-20 rule is 20% of your sales staff sells 80% of your product. And 80% of the sales staff sells 20% of your product. So if you have a staff big enough, you'll always see that 80-20 rule.
Yeah,
So the 20% that 80% of your staff sells is still very important.
yeah.
It's just how it works.
Yep.
Tidbit.
It's true in any sales, or not just sales, but in general, right?
In life,
80%, 20% of the hustlers, right? That carry the rest for
Yeah.
the most part. But yeah. I've been fortunate to have a great team. And we're working on opening up an office in McAllen and in Westlaco, possibly Camden County soon. So
Going back to the over home thing, what year was that?
2004 to 2008.
20 years ago, 20 to 15 years ago.
Right.
So if you think about the trajectory of homes and home prices, right? 20 years ago, 50, 70K has now quadrupled. When's the best time to buy a house, baby?
Think about this.
Always the best.
When I was
Always.
down here,
Always.
when I started doing more down here in the valley 15 years ago, whatever, you used to be able to buy a lot in Las Milpas for $9,000.
Yeah.
The lot. Now they're like 38,000 for the lot in Las Milpas.
9 times 4 is 36.
There you go. And Alton was the same, man. I mean, it used to be 15,000 in Alton. Now try to find something less than 70. You know, I mean, it's crazy.
So a $200,000 house right now or $250,000 house right now is going to be $1 million in 20 years. Buy now.
Buy real estate in South Texas. For those of you that are from California.
In California, that's how it is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the,
Yeah,
that's
no,
the trajectory.
we do. I remember Casa Linda. Homes back in we do the resales for those. You know, those are a little bit more expensive. They had a little bit more perks, but they were like 85,000.
Yeah.
I mean, if we'd get a loan back then over 100,000, we thought we were getting rich. You know,
I got a rich client.
This is a rich client.
Hey, most people don't.
Cuídamelo.
We're like 20 años. Yeah. And for those of you that don't know this stuff, and even us on the origination side, we're just one piece, right? So you talked about, I don't know how many workers, how many
Yeah.
parts. I mean, it's almost similar for mortgage.
On the
It's a-
document
it's a
side, right?
business- Well,
Yeah.
it's a business behind a business,
Yeah.
behind a business, behind a business. And so, I mean, you know, you got servicers.
There's a lot of hands on every
Yeah,
single
oh,
file.
absolutely. But I
Lots of
mean,
hands.
even as the loan goes through the
Yeah.
system, even after it's originated, you know, you have the
After it's
servicers.
closed.
Right.
Yeah.
After it's closed. Oh, yeah. You have servicers that are taking a haircut, which is like a tiny little piece of every payment, right? They got like $3 billion of loans. They take a little sliver of each one, right? Everything else goes to where? Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac,
Yep.
right? The government sponsored enterprises. And then, you know, there's people constantly buying and selling. You got scratch and dent. I mean, there's just so many parts of mortgage that you just don't see. All you see is just the origination side, right? That friendly face, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 30-year commitment, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, it's a mortgage. The original meaning of mortgage means death commitment or death promise or something like that. It's because you're paying it.
Damn.
for 30
That's a little more.
Guys, you can reach Sergio at his email.
Yeah, bro. I mean, that's at the end of the day.
That was the realest one I've heard.
30-year commitment.
That was very
Uh,
motivating.
Any statistics?
Oh, can we scratch that?
I mean,
We'll help you.
you know, I had he must have been in his 80s, 85-year-old man call me and say, "Will you give me a 30-year mortgage? Because I'm not going to live 30 years. How are you guys going to do that?"
Well, not with that.
We can't discriminate.
Yeah. Age discrimination.
But
You
know,
can't do it, right?
but yeah,
Do it.
you
My,
can't
my
do it.
dad back
Can't do it.
back when when I was younger, my dad had a client that was 92 years old, but got a mortgage.
Yeah, 30. You can't discriminate on
for
that.
his
Wow.
young wife.
See.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, more power to him.
More power to him, man. But yeah,
Shout out to
it's
him.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, stick you on for the
don't hate the player, baby. Hate the game.
It's 19 house.
Was that Mario? It's like I'm getting Spanish.
On the Topo Chico. I don't feel like I'm getting drunk on Topo Chico. That's weird.
That's one thing, you know, when I got into mortgages, like I came from India and these things don't happen there.
No.
You will never get a mortgage when you're over 60 in other countries, not just one of them. And one thing I got into mortgage, I saw like when I met Pina when I started with mortgages and I like, why am I going into mortgages? I saw like out of the GDP of the US economy, mortgage is a big chunk of it.
Yeah.
Defense, healthcare, mortgage.
That's a huge
Because,
part of it.
because the T-bills, they keep circulating.
Yeah.
So that creates actually an financial asset for the whole world, not just US. Most of the mortgages, what we have are held by Japan, for example, you know, Japan or other countries. So that's one thing what got me into like, this is an interesting industry, apart from healthcare and defense.
It's become so daunting now. I mean,
Yeah.
you know more than anybody that goes and gets a commercial loan in a bank, you know, you provide your financials, run your credit, you know, you can ask for a $2 million loan at the bank and they'll give it to you on the commercial side. But you go and you apply it for a $200,000 mortgage, and it's gonna
Nah.
and sometimes it's a bit more
give you that.
it's a bit more difficult
is.
depending on how you document your income,
Yeah.
how you take care of your stuff, and it's because of 2000.
If you want to hear something crazy, back in 2008, the foreclosure rate was like 3.9, 3.9, and the whole banking industry was falling apart. And
Yeah,
so, I mean, it's just
that's
crazy. You're
crazy.
like, dude, like that's how perfect they have this system. You know, from credit reports to verifications of employment. I mean, everything is just perfect.
Yeah.
And I
It-
mean, I think right now the foreclosure rate
That's
is
an
like
interesting
point
statistic, man.
0.4. It's crazy. You know, you're like, you guys didn't plan for this, you
Yeah.
know? And so I guess they don't. You know, everything runs so skinny.
That's wild.
It is wild.
You don't.
I thought you were gonna say some crazy number.
Man, it's a very small number. It's just that there's so many homes, you know, and then
The world started falling apart
seriously, you know, it was like
for 3.9.
Bernie Madoff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sergio.
Yeah. Thank you, Sergio. The death market.
I'm gonna die.
Tell you, hey, bro.
I showed up.
Hey,
at
bro,
my
you
office.
good, bro? Bro, talk about everything okay?
The lender you can trust.
Dude, I still have PTSD.
Friends, bro.
Yeah, I
We're
still have
friends.
PTSD.
No, it was bad. It was really, really bad.
I still have PTSD. I showed up at my office in 2008, and just another day, had some closing scheduled and all that. Log into my computer, log into the lender because we're brokering loans. Log into that lender's portal to make sure it's check status or whatever. Website down. I thought, okay, website down. Then the next one, website down.
Yeah.
Next one, website down. I call our account executives, the ones that are the liaisons between us and the lender.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, what's going on with your websites? What's going on? I remember one specifically.
New phone, who this?
He goes,
Oh, shit.
he goes, bro, they don't answer my calls. He goes, the sky is falling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that specific. He said, the sky is falling.
That was in 08?
This was in 08.
You
And so I-
always
Is that
so-
what's going on today with the internet or no? Same thing?
Yeah, everybody.
Russians.
China.
No, but I mean, he's right. I mean,
Yeah.
we used to do a lot of loans with IndyMac. There was a
Oh, yeah.
bank called
Yeah,
IndyMac
yeah.
Bank.
Yeah.
And from one day to the next, they were just shut down, and they had like the yellow tape around the building.
Yeah, they lock out.
And it was just crazy.
Oh.
And then you got to move all your loans that are almost closed.
And then
you
the
know?
ones that were closed, they couldn't fund.
Yeah.
And so those folks that thought that they closed and their deal didn't fund, guess what? You don't have a house.
That's why you don't give them the keys early.
right.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Right.
That's
Right.
big. Builders,
Uh,
new builders, make sure you do not give the keys out
Nope.
until they close.
Don't pay your
Until
subs
it
until they do
funds.
their work too, please.
Fund.
Yes.
Until they fund.
Learn that one the hard way, huh?
No, dude, I had
We all learned that shit.
I have builders and just people that call me, man, and they seek advice and sometimes I'm like, man, these guys, a lot of people are going through it, bro, and I've had recently some builders that like, hey, I told you about this one. Had a builder that called me that paid a tile installer. He upfronted him the whole installation of the tile because the guy had some tragedy happen in his family, and then the guy never showed up. And he's down $3,500 already. I mean, referring back to the whole keys thing, like it's like how you said, like how are you gonna wake up 2000? And my dad always talks about that, and he references these times right now back to 2008, like and more so now, and he always says like, hey, just do me the favor, make sure that you got enough in the bank for like at least a year and a half.
And
Like, do me that favor.
you got to remember though, I mean, a traditional real estate market, I'm not talking about right now, and really not even the 2000s. Before that, it was, bust and boom, right? Boom and bust. And it was every 4 or 5 years. You get 4 really good years, you get 1 or 2 bad years. 4 really good years, 2 bad years. And now, I mean, we were on a boom, we were on a high for
A year and a half.
no, man, since 3. I mean, when
People would be here right now and
dude,
would tell
we
you
were on a high for
it's
10
just
years,
a matter
bro.
of time.
I mean,
Right?
we were on a high
Well,
for
but I
10
think
years.
our valley market is different. We see the prices dropped in Austin a lot.
Yes, they did.
Austin, Dallas, because most of those California companies are going back. Or people were on the Californian payroll living in Austin, not anymore. But those are going back. But our valley market is like it's still strong,
Steady.
steady. Yes.
It's all those babies, man.
Hey, there's one thing we do good here.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you can reach Ronnie at his
Anytime after 2 a.m.
It has to do with affordability, man. We live in a bubble here where affordability, man, is still
But
way lower.
for how long?
Yeah.
Well,
mean,
well,
I mean,
but
think
I
about
think-
it. For how long?
But I think
As long
regardless,
as people are still willing to live and stay here. Yeah.
Right.
and regardless though, because
No,
if
I'm talking about the affordability
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For how long are we gonna have? And the reason I'm saying that is because I have a guy that does our stucco work, right? And this guy's now a builder.
Yeah.
And this guy's building homes, and he's been a stucco guy for a long time. He got a partner. Him and his partner are going 50-50, and they're building houses cash. So what he told me. He has 2 houses in Brentwood, and he's only built one other house besides that one. The houses that he has on Brentwood are on the market, and they're not even on the market. They're not going to put them on the market until they're done out of construction. That's this plan, and they're going to be selling for $545,000. They're 4
This is
bed.
his first house.
These are the second and third house. They're right next to each other. They're 4 bed, 6 baths. How is that? And I'm like looking at the house. I'm looking at the front elevation. I'm like, he's like, what do you think? You think I'm gonna get 545 for it? I'm like, no. He's like, well, you don't think I'm gonna get 45? I'm like, no, bro.
Is it a Kozo?
No.
He could.
Thank you for the plug.
But I mean, dude, I think
How much
and then I walk the house and I'm like walking the house and I'm like, I wouldn't pay over 500,000 for this house.
The thing is, man, you get into a $500,000, market, it's gotta pop.
It's gotta be
And,
fucking
and
amazing.
a lot of these people that at 500,000, they want a custom home. They don't want to buy something existing. They want to design it themselves. So good luck to them.
No, and that's and he wanted my opinion. He called me. He's like, "Hey, I want you to walk the house." Blah blah. I walked the house, and then when he told me the price, because I thought he was going to tell me 400, 380 some, maybe 425. When he told me 545, I looked at him. I was like, "You got to be kidding me, bro!"
Which were the lots in Brentwood? What, 95,000?
Like what I am.
No, well, the lots at Brentwood initially were in the 70s.
Yeah, but it all went up.
Everybody's reselling right now in 95.
What are the lots at Brentwood selling for?
Dan,
Dan,
95.
what are your lots selling for on Brentwood? Brentwood. I-80.
Just so everybody knows, we are in front of a live studio audience right now.
We got fans here.
Yeah, we got fans.
all one of them.
They're doing a Peloton class in the back.
You're sold out at Brentwood. Okay, so it's like you said. Let's say 90 grand.
Say 100.
100.
It's crazy math.
Yeah.
And you're doing 400 on the house,
It's
But
500.
hey, but also location. I mean, you're right there off of McAllen,
Yeah.
People want to be close to the hospital.
Yeah.
That's a big one. And in the university too.
Yeah. And you got some power hitters in the neighborhood, man.
Oh yeah,
They're building some good
and
houses.
That's a tough lesson to learn, man. I
Yeah.
mean, you build it wrong, you can't sell it. You got to drop it to 400. You don't make any money. Yeah, that's a tough lesson.
Yeah.
Hey, good luck to him.
Yeah. But that goes to how long is that going to sustain itself?
Yeah.
For how long?
Well, look-
Eventually, if he stays firm, eventually some
Look, man,
crazy motherfucker's going to show up and buy the house.
You might make
Yeah.
a point that it's not as affordable as it was
Sure.
in the
But
past.
what I'm saying is affordability compared to what, right? Compared to San Antonio, compared to Austin, compared to Houston, we're always going to be
And believe it or
cheaper.
not,
But let me ask you this, guys.
and then,
So
hold on,
sales
gonna
price of
stay
the
within that
houses
ratio.
is it's mandatory for you guys to check on the income.
yes,
Yes.
Okay, so that tells. So if we have employers that they can pay much, house prices are gonna go up. If not,
well, it's supply and demand, right? I mean,
yeah,
how
but I
many
mean,
people want to buy?
but if we don't have those employers that they can pay $300,000 to a kid out of college, we're not gonna see houses in the million in the markets.
300,000 a kid out of college?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if we don't have those employers, how are we gonna see those houses?
Well, what's the average income here in the valley for a person?
That's what we need.
If you're saying average, I mean, it's probably $28,000 a
we're
year.
still we're still the
over
poorest
Florida
county.
But I mean, but you got to remember, man. I mean, look where we're at. We're in 78504, in North McAllen. Go 15 miles north. I mean, it changes quick.
But I think every
Yes.
house is not going to be $500,000.
No.
But I mean, look, talking about San Antonio, there are tract builders just outside of San Antonio. They're selling homes for 285.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan.
The siding, the little bit of stone in the front.
and they're all mirror images of each other.
Right,
But,
right.
That's
but
affordable
two-
for them.
But that's what I
But
mean.
it is
280
affordable.
285.
Yeah.
It's not a bad price.
Yeah.
And you live in San Antonio.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
Llegas a la casa, vieja llegue. Oh shit, that's on my wife.
The wrong house.
Oh, my bad. They have different colored doors.
See,
Go into the red door.
That's wild.
That's where all those 400 babies came from.
That's right. El vecino.
I mean, but going back to what you're saying, yeah, it's a challenge. You know, you people when rates were at 3%, you know, teachers were buying homes in the 300s, right? Now that they're in 6%, teachers are buying homes in the 200s. I mean, that's
I
what
got on
happens.
I got on the MLS thing this morning, right?
Uh-huh.
So I open up the portal for MLS and I see that the average sell, because it gives you the average sell price that's moving right in the market. And right now it you can see the drop where it dropped, and it's at 243 right now that I saw today.
Average.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like that's what's moving.
It's about right.
243,000.
Yes, sir.
It's about
That's
right.
what's moving.
It's about right. You know, what are you seeing on the construction side of price per square foot gone down? Is on
I
on
think
new
it just,
construction.
but that all depends. And we were actually having this conversation. That all depends on, like, you got a builder right here that he's building his own lane, right?
Yeah,
This guy just sold a house for 800 something thousand, right?
right.
So this guy's
a
on
different
another
market.
It's another type
Different client.
trajectory.
Yeah.
And then you have builders that are building homes that are the same as the home that's in front of that house being built.
Right.
Or they're all somewhat the same front elevation. There's nothing different. Same black shingles with the white stucco, the same repetitive house, and then they wonder why it's taking forever to get sold.
Right.
And then you walk the house and you think to yourself, God, this layout is pretty horrible. There was no thought that went to the layout. It's like you said, Mr. Miniano, it's very important where you're going to put the laundry room. Is it close to the master bedroom? Is it going to be close to the kitchen? What are you doing with the house? What are you thinking about the house? So it's I don't know, man. Like I'm going back to that guy I'm referring to. I couldn't believe when he told me, he's like, yeah, I'm building this house. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, what are you doing building? Like, how?
What was the square footage on that?
2,800 living.
That's the one in Brentwood?
Yeah.
2,800?
Yeah.
Wow, that's expensive.
How much was it?
545.
Probably you'll drop the price after a few months.
I'll say,
I'm
I'll
being
say,
serious.
I'll say this, man. I've been up north. I've been up north and I've seen.
This guy, he's doing,
Yeah.
2,800? You premise by saying that. Because that's
Yeah,
195
yeah.
square foot.
Okay, good.
195?
Yeah.
194 and change.
That's about
I got an
right.
appraisal at 202.
Yeah, that's about right.
There's
In
people
Brentwood.
there's people at like 200 some. What are you
Yeah,
at, like
no,
280?
That's about right.
Something like that.
But you do get the dragons on the door.
Hey, those aren't cheap, bro.
Hey, as long as it comes with Palo Santos, like,
Hey,
baby.
I'm a big proponent. And we were talking about this earlier. You want to insulate yourself from any downturn in the economy. Build a great product.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something you could be proud of. Yeah, for
Build a
sure.
great product. There's always going to be somebody that wants a great
Dude,
product.
When you talk
Nobody
about,
says I want a shitty product.
yeah, when
You
you
know
talk
what
about home builders in the valley, dude, there's some badass houses. I'm sorry, man. but
Yes, there
I've
is.
been to Laredo.
Without a
I've
doubt.
been to San
San Antonio,
Antonio.
right,
I've been to
right.
Austin, dude. The builders down here, they kick ass.
Yeah.
And they're getting better, right? Because now they've got a source where they can
Well,
it can help them without paying a towel guy that's not going to.
well, I mean, think
you know.
about this. Why isn't DR Horton here? Because
They don't
they,
last.
they can't.
They
Yeah,
can't
but
make it.
why buy your house when you can buy the one next door that's a custom home that's just gorgeous? You know?
Right.
So
And then the builder put his heart and soul into it with his whole family and his kids, and they all work there. Like that, dude.
Yeah.
That's
hanging sheetrock,
How do you
hanging
keep-
sheetrock on a Saturday.
hell yeah, yeah. I got pictures of my kids when they were little. Working on job sites. How do you compete with somebody like that on a DR Horton home? That you can't.
No.
You can't. Build a great product.
God bless America.
Honestly, yes, bro.
Not just
Honestly, yes. What a great country.
This-
Hey, in the valley, do you want to be a entrepreneur in the valley
Yeah, hell,
or an entrepreneur? Period. Come to the valley.
hell yeah.
All you got to answer your phone, hustle.
Answer your
You're gonna-
phone.
I gave a speech at Willow Bend Corporate when I was because I'm the number one loan
Eso,
officer at Willow
eso.
Bend Mortgage.
There you go.
And my speech was the American dream lives strong down here in the valley.
Yeah.
You go to Dallas and it's my 18th house and my dad gave me my first house. Hey, down here, these guys are working for it.
Yeah.
Being up in the oil fields working 84 hours a week, dude, that sucks, man. Hey, you deserve a house. Get yourself a house. Do that 4th of July barbecue in the backyard. Do Thanksgiving and Christmas. Call Willow Bend Mortgage, Robert Cordova. Si se puede.
I won't kill you.
Hey, that was actually very smooth. Yeah.
been waiting all. Yeah. Hey,
Last night, in the mirror, maybe in the shower a little bit.
He said that mortgage. Okay, it's Brucey's time.
I knew he was gonna say that. That was good, bro.
No, I mean, shit.
Hey, you got to be proud of the
You gotta be
company
proud.
that you're growing, that you're building, because, dude, it's not easy. Everybody knows, man. If you're an entrepreneur, you started your own company, it's hard.
It's not easy.
Oh, yeah.
Hard, bro.
And all credit
There's
goes
times
to the
you don't
guys.
make money.
Yeah, they don't see the work that goes behind the scenes. They just see, oh, okay, well, I drive a Tesla truck or whatever, and
That's nice.
Tesla
But is it gang up on me? What are you talking about, man?
gosh.
What are you talking about?
But yeah, but
It's
they
a
don't
work
see all
truck.
that.
It's a
They don't
work
see,
truck.
yeah, right. They don't see all that
Actually,
work that goes in.
No, there's a lot of work that went into that. Dude, I've been doing this since 2004.
Yeah.
And I started with $0.
Yep.
Zero. Yeah.
20 years, dude.
20 years in the
Like
business.
here in the valley, like how about people, they come from California, Chicago, Michigan. Everybody says the houses here are beautiful than what they get up there.
Yep.
It's the workmanship, man. The workmanship is Robert just said it. You travel to all these other places. You go, man. I lived in Laredo for 2 years, and I would dude, I hate it,
The armpit of Texas.
dude. Horrible, bro. Horrible. And the workmanship is just by far better here than anywhere else.
And the Mexican food's amazing down here. Puro 956.
So I had the
Uh,
person who
uh,
bought Robert's fourplex, the one which you built. He was here and he said
What was that now?
fourplex. The fourplex which you built.
Oh yeah.
The fire came down here and he said I
Was
was
he from California?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Mountain House, California. So he came down here and he was like, these houses are so beautiful. You don't get any of those there in California.
Yep.
It's a cookie
Quality,
cutter system
cheap.
because you have to go by like machine.
But you would assume that California had good workmanship. I mean, Mexico's right across. No, what's Baja California? That's right next.
Other races do good workmanship as well. I'm sure there's some beautiful homes.
Thanks a lot, Robert.
No, I mean,
I will back up Mario though, because in 2008, so we're all talking about when the industry tanked. I had no more work. But aside from we're slightly insulated at that time. I was barely getting started and barely getting established, and I had no work. So I had to. I was traveling the country doing a commercial finish outs. Started in Houston, went as far east as Panama City, Florida, as far north as Rapid City, South Dakota, and my last job was in Vegas. Every single and everything in between, and every single town that I went to, bro. Every town, didn't matter whether it was Rapid City, South Dakota. Llegas al jale y ticket. You know what I'm saying? It felt like home everywhere.
and were they like Walmarts or what was it?
It was retail like the Buckle, Anna's Linens. We did a bunch of McDonald's, Maurice's, Fossils. Yeah,
And how many years did you do that?
I did that from '08 to 2011.
Oh wow.
Yeah. We did 38 McDonald's in Houston,
Hell yeah.
and probably about 80 some retail stores.
Hey, that's
throughout the
awesome,
country.
man.
Yeah.
Could've found a
But
way.
hey, labor.
Oh, for
Like,
sure. Yeah, for
No,
sure.
aquí de que I'm driving around a truck and lowering the window. It was
Yeah,
a
you're
chingale.
getting in there.
Yeah.
A chingale.
That's good, man.
But and everywhere, bro, it was a Latin community. Maybe not all Mexican. Maybe some from other.
I say Mexican because here in the valley, it's
Yeah.
mainly
Primarily.
Mexican.
But to back up your statement, bro, everywhere.
Oh, for sure.
We are building the United States.
Yeah, for sure.
Literally.
I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
Okay, I go.
Robert,
Yes.
whoever gave the most plugs has to pay the tab. There's the most benefit out of it. We're going to tell you guys.
No. I'm okay. I just want a water, please. Yeah. You guys want anything?
I'm good. Good too.
Everybody, you want to just get them all waters? Yeah.
So what's next for STBA, guys?
We're working on the gallery that's coming up. We got
End of October.
yes, sir. It's the end of October, first weekend of November. So the last weekend of October, first weekend of November. We got 20 houses that have already signed up. It's 18 builders that are pre-registered. We're working right now with Mr. Villalma on having the cover STBA is getting the cover to the New Homes Guide magazine for August, September, and October. They're also going to do a preview of the people that are going to be competing in that gallery in the magazine. So there's over 630 different companies that will have that issue delivered to their door. The gallery is going to consist of we got some of the same people that competed last year. We got some new faces coming up. Like I'm interested in seeing Bale that's going to be in it. I'm interested in seeing Scale High is going to be in it. We got some Waldo that's going to be in it. If you're wanting to compete, I want y'all to come out here and really compete with what the Valley has to offer, the best of what the Valley has to offer. A lot of these builders do put their heart and soul into their construction. As y'all know, we were talking some real stuff here. This is not easy. The industry and being a builder or being anything that has to do with the industry is not easy. It's like Hernan said, like just because you got a file in doesn't mean it's going to go through and you're going to close. Like sometimes you get it back and there's things that you got to fix and you got to modify. All these things, man, that go into every aspect. Same thing with construction. I was building a house a couple months ago. I remember I told Ronnie, I was like, hey, bro, what I had originally planned, it just, the tile took a different shape and the exterior took a different color and all this stuff. And it took its own life. And Ronnie was telling me, he's like, dude, every house takes its own life. Every house has its own trajectory or whatever. But going back to the gallery, we are going to have the awards ceremony at the first weekend of December. And then after that, we'll have the second golf tournament for STBA, which I'm excited for. Already have some people that are looking to go ahead and go out there and have some fun. But the biggest thing right now that I'm trying to put my focus on is on the gallery. I want to make sure that everybody that's competing sees traffic through the doors. My biggest thing is if the builders see traffic and the builders sign contracts, it's a good thing for them. And if it's a good thing for them, it's a good thing for STBA. Our main priority is making sure that the builders are moving forward, therefore the organization's moving forward.
If a builder wants to sign up, do they call you? How do they reach you?
Yes, you can reach me at 956-388-0705. Call me. You can also go ahead and sign up at stba.org. Paco Villalma is going to be heading that. He's also working on finishing the website so that the pre-registration could get done, and the pre-registration will come to an end August 25th. After that, each home that's going to be placed in the gallery is going to be $2,000. If you're not a member of SCBA, you do have to pay your membership fee because every person that is competing is a member.
Okay. The shooting as well.
Yes, sir. We have the ski shoot coming on up August 24th. We already have a good amount of sponsors for that. It looks like that's going to be a great turnout. Thank you to everybody that's sponsoring.
I know last year, going back to your gallery.
Yeah.
The award ceremony was awesome. Who was that band?
I don't remember the name.
They were awesome. They were awesome.
They were Sincero or something like that.
I think it was Sincero.
Sincero was the name of the band. I feel bad because my cousin actually plays the bass for them. But they are going to be back for the award ceremony this year. We're gonna shout out to Matt's Cash and Carry, Matt's Building Materials. You boys are always thank you, ma'am, are always taking care of us. And we're gonna return the favor. And this year's award ceremony is gonna be at the Brookhaven, Event Center. Yes, sir.
It's a nice event.
We're gonna do it up there. Isaac told me that they'll have the backyard and everything done by then.
Very nice.
Band's gonna be up on the stage. I really want everybody to come out. I want to partner. I want to give everybody the opportunity. I think I already sent you the list, right, of the builders that are competing.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity, every lender and every realtor. If you have a builder that you already work with, if you want to be paired up with somebody, make sure that you contact me so that we can make sure that every builder has a lender on site in case somebody needs to get some sort of approval done, and every builder has a realtor on site. Even if you don't work with somebody, it doesn't matter, man. Get out there, make relationships, work with people. My objective is everybody's paying a membership to be part of SCBA, and you need to get what you pay for out of it. And I believe that if we can get everybody involved in the gallery, it will be a great turnout. We're going to have a new award that's coming out this year. We're going to do a home inspection award. Okay. So the HIR is going to be, and we're going to have an inspector that's going to go and inspect everybody's house. He's going to give he's going to give us the grading, and then off the grading, we're going to have one winner off of that award. So the best inspection report will get that award at the award ceremony. I think it would be cool to go ahead, and also I'm going to be giving out everybody's grade. So we're going to have 3 judges that are going to go this time around. We're not going to make it a 1-day thing. We're going to do it a 2-day event, to where the judges will take two days to go ahead and go through these houses. I think last year, Ulises, you did what, 16, 17 houses in 1 day? Ulises was just there with them, driving around, and they took care of it all. And I want to minimize the workload, put it into a 2-day spectrum. And a third-party company is going to grade everything. We're going to have copies of the score that each builder gets, and we're going to give it to the builder, so that therefore the builder knows what they got graded on and why they got what they got, what award they got, what they got.
Super important.
Yes.
How do you get better if you don't have any type of criticism?
Yeah.
Feedback.
Yeah. I want to make sure that everybody gets that feedback. And I want to invite every builder that's not part of STBA to join STBA in order to compete and be a part of something that is an honest competition. You can put this on your resume as a builder, that you'll be competing with amongst the best builders in the valley. You're going to have builders that build $1 million homes, and you're going to have builders that build $200,000, $100,000 homes, but you will be competing with the best. And I think that has a lot to say for your name, for your company. Like I said, you can contact me. It's 956-388-0705. My name is Mario Guerrero. Any way that I can help each and every one of you, I'm here to always help. These guys here are part of the organization. I see them frequently. Anything that you all need on the loan side, as you all saw, we have a lender that focuses on lending strictly to builders that are trying to come up and start something. You got Robert Cordova and Hernan here that are about to duke it out, and then you got Ashish over there that he's doing the most of the commercial part, and then you got Mr. Mortgage over here that's doing his own thing. So all these guys are really knowledgeable. They got over 100 years of experience here on the table. Take advantage of these people. I would say, if you're looking at buying a home, don't be afraid to shop around. I'm sure each and every one of these men here have something that you can use. Ronnie, you want to plug something out? I feel like
You're doing a great job, bro. By the way, Mario's kicking ass.
No, for sure.
I think the industry has really started to solidify, and STBA is coming together.
Mario's the next generation.
Mario is the next generation, and he's doing really well. The gallery is going to be great, and it's going to be great because when we announced it 3-4 months ago, builders were already working on their houses.
Is that going to be 1 weekend or 2 weekends?
2 weekends. Yeah, 2 weekends.
I'm looking forward to it. It's been awesome. I've done this now for 2 years in a row. It's been a hit. And shout out, to Mario, but not just Mario, to Ronnie, to the board, and Yuli. I mean, Yuli, where are you at? Yuli's always
He's a good-looking guy behind the scenes.
Yeah, and he's always there, hard work, waiting for builders to get to the job sites to take pictures and video. And so, all you guys, man.
It takes a whole village, right, to build a little baby.
There you go.
Is
Back to those 400 babies.
Yes, right. That's right. We're good at it, baby.
Yeah, and like you said,
Paco's doing great.
Yeah.
We have people, especially like Ulises. I always try and give him his flowers. I believe in giving credit where it's due. Definitely could. I am not technology savvy. The most I can do is answer an email, but don't ask me to do anything else. And we have a great marketing team with Ulises. Paco is another level, and big shout out to Paco when we made the decision and we brought together. And I told the board, if we're gonna do this, we got to do this right. I believe in hiring the people that know what they're doing. I don't like shortcutting anything. At the end of the day, you guys are the members, and we're a nonprofit organization, so I believe that everything that's coming in and everything that you guys are paying for, y'all should get the best for it. That's why I make sure that, hey, man, whatever the price is, if it's going to generate sales for you guys, I'm going to make sure that we're paying top dollar for that generation of sales for you all. I'm not going to short skim anybody. I had somebody tell me, like, at the fishing tournament, like, God damn, dude, look at all the food that you bought for everybody. You bought 2 ribeye roastings or whatever. You bought all this food. And I'm like, yeah, man, because it's for you guys. Like, why would if somebody is holding money from the own organization, not putting into your organization, that is a defamation towards your name. I believe that, you guys are paying to get something great out of your investment, and I believe in giving it back to you guys. So I want to just say thank you to you all.
With
Great
that
job.
said,
Thank you.
keep us in mind whenever you do have things going on. Keep members in mind. However we can help with the gallery.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that in the past you've had some help from members. with the gallery. So let us know whatever you
Yeah.
need, man.
Yeah, one
right.
thing that we do have is we have the gallery committee. I know Robert was heading that last year. We are going to bring that back. You know, and you know, to the members that are listening, feel free to join in any of the meetings, even when we have board meetings or whatever the case may be. I make it known like this is y'all's organization. You guys are paying a fee to be a part of STBA. There's nothing that's being hidden. We can show you where money's going, where money's coming. That is not a problem. We have nothing to hide here. The biggest thing is transparency from day one. I've been very fortunate to be given the opportunity to come in here and be able just to work because there was no blueprint given when this opportunity came up. But you know, with Ulises and people that have been around and the help of Ronnie that's been able to mentor me when I have questions, we're moving in the right direction. The Gallery of Homes is going to be a great event. And I encourage each and every person in the organization to reach out to the builders that are going to be competing and find out how you can help them. You know, I really want to see each and every one of you in there with the builders and because you're going to see that traffic's going to happen. I mean, how many people did you have last year?
We sold. We sold. How many we sold? We sold 3 last year. We had great traffic,
Great turnaround.
great turnout. Yeah. And this year is going to be even better. So we've got Paco and Jose Bioma.
Yeah.
Both.
Who are. I mean,
Amazing.
they've been doing this since the
30
80s.
years.
Yeah.
30 years.
So there'll be traffic without a doubt. It'll be in my opinion, I think it's going to be one of the biggest ones that we've done. And that you've seen out there. I'm sure we're still going to get some more builders put their houses in. It's going to be at a great time in October when the weather's real nice and the builders can actually show off some of the lighting and because it gets dark a little earlier. It's going to be a badass event.
I can guarantee
Badass
you.
event.
I can guarantee you that we'll have over 20 builders, 22, 23 builders come in and compete. So with that being said, I do want each and every one of you to be part of the award ceremony this year. I think that it's only right to go ahead and make it big for everybody. You know, I want everybody to go to the award ceremony. There's going to be the opportunity to sit and stay at whoever's competing's home.
Sure.
We're also going to do the gallery magazine where each builder is going to be placed in the magazine to showcase their house. And if you guys want to put your company in there or whatnot, there'll be opportunity to go ahead and put your company on the magazine. But we are getting with Mr. Villalman talking about the new 956 home art guide.
Yeah.
To come out here and they are looking at putting the board on the front page of the guide, give a description of each member of the board, and then give a description of the houses that have already enrolled to be part of the gallery, and give a little description as well of each company and where they came from and stuff. So one of my biggest things is I really want to make sure that everybody's getting the recognition that they deserve and getting their money's worth of being part of this organization.
Que con madre.
Awesome.
For real.
Okay.
For real.
Congrats.
I mean, we're 5 years into this. Or four going on 5.
Yeah,
Going on 5 years. I mean,
As a lender for the maybe I missed this for the gallery, what do we got to do? We're already members, right?
No, nothing. You just I want to make sure that I'll send you guys a list so you all know the builders that are gonna be a part of it. And I want to make sure that every builder has a lender on site. Even if like let's say it's not yourself, but you can send somebody from your team. Just get with the builder and hey, I'm gonna put a lender here and you get with the builder, I'm gonna put a lender here and just get as many people as you can within these houses because you never know somebody's gonna walk in and it's like, well, let me see where I'm at.
yeah.
You know?
We need y'all there.
You know?
Yeah. Financially, just be current with your membership. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be current with your membership.
That's the only thing I've been that's one thing that I've been emphasizing to people and I've been calling to people that the only thing that I've had to really be strict on is membership because we do have people that are very punctual. You know, their membership renewal comes up and they don't let it pass 3, 4, 5, 6 days. And I have to make sure that I'm fair with everybody. And sometimes I feel bad because I make relationships with people and I become, you become friends and stuff. And the last thing you want to do is like, hey man, I'm gonna have to put you out But I mean, I have to think about the betterment of the organization. I have to think about, we have to be fair with everybody. And if somebody's paying their due and getting the benefits, it's not fair for him for somebody that's not paying their due and also receiving benefits from this. But as long as you're current and everything is taken care of on your end, I really want you to take part of the gallery. And like I said, I'll send you all the information on the builders, and just let me know. I want this one, whatever. And I just want to make sure that nobody's overlapping. The same thing with the realtors. And by participating in that, we're also going to get you all a dinner seat at the table for the gallery awards.
Hey, that's gonna be a lot of fun. You were there last year,
Amazing.
bro. What up,
Amazing.
yeah, what's up, man?
Amazing. We dance a little.
It was nice. There's no lack of food, that's for sure. But
When's that second golf tournament we were talking about?
December 14th will be the tournament. It's on a Saturday. But yes, sir, Los Lagos. You're gonna have the team. So it's a simple buy-in. Two different buy-ins. You got the whole sponsorship at $2,000, and then you got the team's sponsorship at $1,000. We're gonna do something a little bit different this year on that tournament. We're gonna have sticks and swords at one hole, and we're gonna have a flamingo at another. Which basically, if you're a flamingo, you're gonna stand on one leg when you're driving, and sticks and swords, you're gonna be able to. You're gonna have to play one hole with only two clubs. So just to even out the game a little bit and neglect the cheaters out there a little bit. So we'll have some judges out there for that and stuff. We're also gonna do the best dress award that day. We're gonna see who dressed best and have the players judge on that. And then we're also gonna have an award for the best dressed hole. So for the people that do sponsor the holes, like Ronnie last year put a whole freaking house out there. I don't know.
Fun, man.
Yeah, that was real cool.
I'm excited to do
Yeah, that was cool. So
same hole.
yeah, for sure.
It was a part 3.
Yeah, the part
It
3.
was a part 3.
So
Yeah, it was a cozo.
You drive up, it's Palo Santo everywhere.
Yeah, bro. We gotta set the vibe. Relax.
So-
you're gonna have a good shot.
So yeah, so everything, thank God, SCBA is moving forward, and once again, thank you to the membership. Like I said, I spare no expense to making sure that each and every member is getting the best that they can for their dollar. I believe in making sure that everybody's getting what they put into it. So for the gallery, I am making sure that whatever expense needs to be made to make sure that there's sales being made, to make sure that there's traffic. Like we're already on it. And once again, thank you to all the people that take part of our events. This past fishing tournament, we had 51 boats on the water. It was a really great turnout.
Bro, who saw the video of the boats coming out?
that was so
Damn,
nice.
that was badass.
Yeah.
Yuli, you took the shot, right? The
Yeah.
video, the drone shot of all the
The
boats coming
shotgun
out.
star was awesome. Another cool.
You want to say how,
We need to put that. Actually, I'd like to frame it, bro, and put it in my office. That's badass.
bro? That
Send me the file.
I was so scared that day because I wake up and I get out there. It's like 5 something in the morning. Paco's already there. And I'm calling Ulises, and I probably called him about 30 something times, and he wasn't answering me, right? He finally answered. He's like, no way, sleep in, blah, blah. And he got there, bro, about 4 minutes before we had to sound the horn.
No.
And he's like, let me get the drone up in the air. And it was just, yeah, I was standing out there and I was going to go golfing at the other side of the island. Yes, sir. And I was looking at them take off and everything. And I was seeing him manage that drone. I was like, it was meant to be for him to take this shot. Like, I was like, yeah, like, cause I kept calling and I was so pissed because I was like, we're not going to get the shot. But thank God it went well. And once again, thank you to all the sponsors. I hope that everybody got something out of it. It was a great event. I think the captain's meeting was so packed. It was
Amazing.
it was insanely packed, man. It was crazy. People were shoulder to shoulder. Then at the award ceremony at the dinner, I bought enough food for 150 people, and I started giving plates out. Like, hey, man, I was taking plates to the table. Like, take to the tables, take food home, man. You know. But we had a full reception for the awards. But like I said, man, there's no expense that's being spared. We as an organization want to make sure that you guys are getting the top dollar that y'all deserve. Y'all are paying top dollar to be part of our organization. And just want to say thank you to you guys for letting me do my thing and work in peace, because you guys really let me just do it. So there's no blueprint that's being followed. And I just hope I can keep moving it forward for you.
Yeah, of course you will.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys want to say something before we head out.
A last plug.
More plugs. I think we're out of plugs.
Willow Bend, Wall Street, Capital, CrossCountry Mr. Morgan.
Let's do this again.
Yeah, it was a lot
Let's
of
do this
fun.
again more often, man.
Thanks guys for having us. It was a cool time. It's nice getting to hear everybody with some input. So thank you guys.
I think we should do it.
After the gallery,
Yeah.
we should come back.
I think we should do it.
Yeah.
We should do it.
That's cool, yeah.
I was actually having that conversation with a buddy of mine, and he saw the names that were going to be on here, and he was like, "Man, it would be pretty cool to get those guys to go at least once a quarter or once maybe every 6 months or something, just to hear how they see the market moving and stuff." So if you guys would be up for it, let's get another one of these war rooms coming in together at the end of the gallery, maybe before the golf tournament. Just to see how you all see the year ending and how you all see the new year starting would be cool.
By then, I think the elections are going to be coming up, so that's going to be interesting and how that's going to play out in the market.
Yeah.
It'll react pretty quick, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see how that happens.
Está bueno. Cool.
A walk-up song.
Thank you.
Would be pretty cool for the golf tournament.
That would be pretty cool.
You got something to think? I did it.
Like at a
A
hole.
what? A what?
A walk-up song.
Like at a hole.
So I did a Barstools Classic.
Okay.
Golf tournament in Austin.
Yeah.
And before you got there, they sent you an email. Do you want a walk-up song? And so, give us a song. So as you're going in,
Dude, I love that. I love
a
that.
video. I'll show it to you.
Badass.
And then they play your song. They call your name, and they call your song, and you tee off with the song playing in the background for about 20, 30 seconds. It's pretty cool.
Really?
Really
Let's
cool.
do it.
You can do a whole one. You have a DJ there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
And then the crowd. I did the golf tournament last year, and the crowd y'all had was a pretty good, fun crowd.
Yeah.
Over the whole course. So I think I would go with the.
I think it was
I agree.
it was Miss Melissa McCulloch that she came up to me and she was like, I just want to tell you that I thought you weren't gonna pull this off, but you pulled it off. It's like,
Well,
but thanks a lot.
confidence.
No, but thank you to everybody that tuned in today. Thank you to each and every one of you gentlemen that came on to share y'all's thoughts. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you to Ronnie for being here today. Ulises, my boy Dan out there.
A giveaway.
We got a little giveaway dinner for two at Ambra.
Nice. Sponsored by.
Sponsored by STBA.
Here we go.
So we're gonna have Mr. Hernan here press the button. Here you go, big dog.
How many times have you won?
Ruben Reese.
Oh, se las echó.
Well, you know what?
Hey, that's
You know
just
what?
rigged. That's just rigged.
Mr. Ruben Reese hasn't been wanting to have dinner at Amara because he says it's too foofy for him. So let's see what he thinks now.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna take a shower and everything. El viejon.
Yeah. That one, guys. Well, I appreciate each and every one of you to take your time and come out here.
Yep.
Like I said, if anybody needs anything, please feel free to reach out to us. You can find us at stba.org or STBA on Facebook, South Texas Builders Alliance. Ronnie, thank you for being here. If you all need anything, please feel free to reach out. Thank you, guys.